on, what's that? The Academy. And let's get on Meta. And we straight. All right, man. All right. Tonight gonna be like, this is actually perfect for a late night stream because we are gonna just vibe out. There's no big topics. Again, I keep telling you Monday we're gonna get a lot of shit. I'll tell you some stuff, and we'll tell you a reason why we're gonna get some stuff tomorrow. But we're just kind of vibing. So, I encourage, if you guys are around, go here. If you're on Twitter, I need y'all to join this community, okay? So just go to Academics TV. The fuck? This is so big. Pause. By the way, this is just a quick way to submit reaction videos that I can react to it on stream, okay? So tonight's stream, we chilling, all right? Most of y'all sleeping anyway. If you're up, you got a late night shift, we're just gonna vibe out. Not doing too much. Let's see if I could hang out. Nah, this ain't day one. Stop playing. I see you in the cat. I see you on. Nah, this ain't day one. Stop playing. Stop playing. This is day 5, nigga. Stop playing. Stop playing. Because I'm coming back later too. I just, I was just on West Coast timing today. Nah, I'm coming back later too. Okay. Nah, it ain't day one. Okay, so I want you guys to join the community, and what I'm gonna do is, the videos that y'all want me to react to, I'll just like look through what the fuck? Just look through the community and what the hell is going on? And kind of just react to them all for that. Because we don't have any strong. What the fuck? I can't see the community? They deleted the community? Oh, hell no. Oh, no. The community ain't working. Yo, Elon must have had enough of this shit. All right, man. I tried. Anyway. Oh, it's right here. Chat Nigga Academy. Oh, yeah. Okay, cool. So, yeah, if you can, just join the community and just tweet me videos that I could, like, react to. So, we're going to be vibing. We're still vibing. But there's no big topics that we're going to get to. Like, I mean, the LeBron and Kevin Gates thing, that's not a big topic. I keep telling you how big things happen on Monday. Like, for example, 6ix9ine is in court. It's possible that he could go back to jail. He basically was violated on his probation, or not probation, his parole. And the judge put him on like this supervised release for like a year. First he couldn't travel, first he couldn't do this. Then the feds raided his crib and claimed they found some stuff. And now it's going back in front of the judge again. So, remember, he was locked up for about like 45 days or so. Remember, he was locked up, as I said, with Diddy. And then they let him go. But now he's going back to court, and they're going to be doing these hearings to see what's good. And these hearings basically are, yo, we ran up in your crib, found some shit you shouldn't have around, go back to jail. Now, this is super interesting. The damn feds, they're not prioritizing 6ix9ine. This is why it always tripped me out when I heard like rappers say, yo, he got a badge. Yo, they've raided 6ix9ine's house or try to violate him more than other rappers who never told. This myth about like you tell and you have like this invisible badge, or remember people used to be like, yo, yeah, the reason they don't do nothing to him is because the police is probably following him around to make. Nigga, come on, bro. Come on. Anyway, shout out to all my people in Georgia. By the way, check it in the chat. You know what I mean? Let me know where you're watching from and everything like that. So tomorrow, he will be in federal court. The judge did not keep it light with them last time. They claim they found some shit at the crib. Here's the thing. He has some plausible deniability. Yo, other people live here too. While I'm on this supervised release, there's a few more things that, it'll probably come up in court. I won't mention here, right? Anyway, so that's happening tomorrow. We're going to do the LeBron James and Kevin Gates little back and forth. I'm actually really surprised LeBron responded. Why is LeBron responding to Kevin Gates when his team is down 0-1? That boy ain't chasing, that boy is not chasing he ain't chasing Michael Jordan. He must be chasing some other type of nigga. I don't know what he got going on. Why the hell is LeBron responding to Kevin Gates after his team got mollywopped by Anthony Edwards? Respectfully. Now, I ain't gonna lie to you. Him responding, I'm not knocking the response. The timing of the response in the moment of why we all know in which is basketball, and this is, again, another legacy year. Some people feel like his team is stacked, right? Or not really stacked. He got Luka. They're like, yo, you're going to win the championship this year, buddy. He's down 0-1, and he's coming online to make a public statement pretty much, shading Kevin Gates. Now, granted, I'm completely on his side with this, but this kind of helps prove Kevin Gates' point. Anytime a nigga get online to do this, it's hell in the crib. She looking at you like, so you not going to say nothing? You gonna let this bitch nigga violate me like that? You're not gonna say nothing, nigga? That's exactly what's going on in the crib. There's no Taco Tuesdays until he got online. Everybody know, if you've ever had a girl, your girl, sometimes you will let something roll off your shoulder and slide, but she gonna look at you with that face of disgust. Like, you gonna let that nigga do that? And here's the thing. You almost gotta go say some shit. Otherwise, she ain't sucking your dick with the same spit viscosity for the next month. It ain't gonna hit the same, man. She ain't hitting you with the Gog 3 million no more. The spin cycle with the tongue is not happening. She gonna give you the lazy head and be like, nigga, put it in, nigga. So you gotta go hard now. You know what I mean? So I get it. LeBron is fighting for his fucking household, man. I get it, dog. You just clocked in? We just started. People. Somebody said day 5 shouldn't include Kevin Gates news. We don't got nothing else going on. The thing about streaming every day is that I'm going to have to start mixed up with some IRLs, or we're going to just have to do general jacking for topics like segments, or start, looking at some shit that's happening in the real world. Like tonight, we're gonna look at this little, not little, but the Karmelo Anthony thing. I've seen a lot of reactions about it. Shit, I don't really know what's going on with it. I'm gonna examine what's going on with it on stream. Let's try to figure it out. Somebody who was supposedly his dad reached out, was like, yo, we want you to break this down and bring more attention to it. I don't know if it's a real dad, but I'm like, all right. But anyway, to give you a recap of what the hell happened, Kevin Gates made this video.
This how the conversation came up. We were just looking at like couples and people in the league. And we was talking about how LeBron do the little handshake with Savannah.
Right.
And then I was like, maybe I notice shit that people don't notice. But I'm like, they was like talking about, what if you had LeBron money? I'm like, man, he one of the greatest players to ever play the game.
Right.
But I wouldn't want to trade places with him. And they was like, why not? Why you wouldn't want to play? I say, because I don't like the way Savannah look at LeBron. I like the way them white women look at LeBron. Like when soon as he walk out there, they just be like, ho, ho, ho.
Now, I kind of gave a breakdown in like my opinion about what Kevin Gates is saying. And by the way, all due respect to Kevin Gates, but I thought his comment was ludicrous, right? The wife of an NBA player or the wife of anybody for 20-something years, yeah, he's not going to look like them white women who be looking at LeBron. They want to, in their mind, they're in a scene of blacked. Like, they're looking at him like he's just a physical specimen that they would like for, like to have him bend them over and donkey fuck them, right? Like, there's nothing, they're like, oh, he's probably a good person, he's probably a good father. It's probably just like, yo, I don't even like black men, but that is LeBron. Do you get what I'm saying? So, yeah, the way they're looking at him, and also they're looking at him like a walking paycheck, right? Like, what do you think these girls are popping up there to just be seen? They'll fuck most of them players who got like a max contract because that's going to change their lives. Of course, they're going to look at him like, it's a very lustful look to think that you could compare a couple groupies, how they look at a man compared to how his wife's supposed to look at him. Now, granted, here's the thing. And this is another reason why I say, we don't know what's up with LeBron and Savannah. We see little videos and little nuggets, but we don't know how they really are. We don't really know that after the nigga come through after dropping 60 points, 14 rebounds, 18 assists, he come home with the nastiest athlete. The nigga's like 45. I got to imagine when he get to the crib, you got to give him some Icy Hot, Bengay, and motherfucking Robitussin, and he got probably the nastiest, stinkiest athlete's foot known to man. Okay? And I got to imagine that Savannah for 20 years been over there shaving off them bunions, giving them a foot massage, holding them down, and probably sucking them toes afterwards. Who knows? God knows what they do. So I would imagine that, the reason why they're probably still in a happy relationship is that she's doing some shit that he like. But is she supposed to just have this look of lust on her face every single time in public? Plus another thing, here's the thing. They got inside jokes. A lot of times, I really think a lot of people don't know most celebrities, like especially like LeBron. Like, we see so much of him that we think we know him, but we don't. Like, have we really heard these like off-the-cuff conversations with LeBron that might expose the type of person he really is other than this contrived image? We don't really see that shit at all. This is why people are so shocked. They're like, LeBron going into his villain era. Nah, this is probably like LeBron saying, I'm about to leave the league anyway. I've been wanting to say this shit. Fuck y'all niggas. A lot of times, we don't really know these guys. LeBron is giving us a carefully prepared package of opinions, of a persona, of everything. I mean, for God's sake, he the only nigga, the nigga he ain't had a cheating allegation this whole time. It's the first black man to ever do that. That's good. Never heard that, you know what I mean? He had an argument. We never heard nothing bad about LeBron. We never heard that LeBron, does LeBron smoke weed? Like, we don't know nothing bad about the nigga, bro. Like, we got to give, even if we think about Michael Jordan, he's a gambler. He's like, they had a few things about him that they were like, if only he didn't do that. Well, LeBron, he's as good as they come, bro. So all I'm saying is that LeBron and his wife, we can't put I'm going to be honest with you, I think Savannah is a very fine woman. For a woman to be with a man like LeBron, always know her role. I've never seen her speak out of turn. She ain't never Aisha Curry that nigga. I ain't see it yet. She presents herself and looks like the ultimate family woman. She always got the kids looking nice. She's always super supportive. She's clearly made her life the life of the family and what LeBron got going on. She's not one of them loud, ratchet chicks who think they the main character. No, she's chilled. For everything that we see with some of these basketball wives, some of the goofiness, Savannah, and we don't know how it is behind closed doors. Maybe they've had arguments. Maybe they've split up. Maybe they've been not split, like had these on and off period where they're damn near like on the brink of whatever. We don't know. And that's how it's supposed to be. We shouldn't know. It's between them. So I think Kevin Gates is kind of putting on his own mentality to LeBron. He's looking at LeBron like the type of woman I want has to look at me like I'm a god. We showed it when we showed the Brittany Renner stuff. Brittany Renner don't walk until he tells her to come. She don't speak unless he tells her to talk. That's Kevin Gates. Maybe that's the Islamic Muslim stuff, or that's just Kevin Gates. But clearly he enjoys that and that dynamic with women who would submit to that dynamic. But not everybody like that, bro. Okay?
Oh, they be dicked out. But it's like I noticed when he go do the handshake with the main player on his team, which is that, it's like, you act like I'm bothering you, bitch. Like,
Right.
I'm the greatest player in the world, one of them. Like top 5, top 10, I'm one of them. And I'm in the playoffs. And you act like the warden of the jail. Like you came here to police me. Like you ain't, like, you not dicked out like these white women this dicked out about me in here. Like, so, like, I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it, bro. Because when I've been around that dude just, his spirit so loving and giving, it hurt me. It hurt me to see that. Like, you done eject away from my partner, man. Don't do that, man. You dive on the floor behind that nigga, man. Dive on the floor behind him. But, you know, like, I know a lot of people gonna hate what I just said, but I'm gonna be honest, like, if everybody like me, then I'm pussy, so we can do whatever you want to do about it. I'm gonna die about everything I say, so I love LeBron, and I hate that for him, bro. I hate that he gotta go through that. As a man, I hate that he gotta go through that, bro. In the playoffs.
Now, this is a wild assumption. Now, he says he's been around LeBron. I don't know if he knows LeBron. He's making it seem like LeBron is a nigga who's like imprisoned by this woman, right? Like he's not having a good time. Like LeBron is suffering in silence, like many men do. I don't know. I think sometimes the internet will just make you feel that way. And also, we like LeBron more than we like Savannah because we know LeBron, or we care about LeBron more than Savannah, you know, respectfully. The reason why I'll also say that, like, I seen a clip go up recently. Let me see if I can find it. And I saw a lot of people get like super defensive, or maybe it was depend on where you read it or read the comments about it at. Let me see. Can I find it here? No, it's probably on Shade Room Teens. And it's a clip of Kai Cenat in the car with his girl. And his girl basically says he looks like a rat or whatever. And it's clear they're joking around, right? It's clear they're joking around. But everybody just looks at it to say, damn, why she... This is a clip right here.
That girl told me for Spider-Man. She told me for Superman. Whole time, I'm Static Shack. I'm Static Shack. Static Shock.
Whole time you ain't.
She told me for Spider-Man.
You Ratatouille.
Now, a lot of people felt like she was, you know, they try to compile a whole narrative. Yo, first she said her type was this type of guy. It didn't match how Kai Cenat looks or whatever. Now she's basically clowning him, this and third. So people are trying to act like maybe Kai just likes her way more than she likes him. I think that's complete bullshit. You know, but that's to kind of correlate to the Braun point. We don't know how the hell the dynamic is between them, right? Like there was this one clip, and I seen people try to do the same thing. By the way, again, that was a joke, clear, obvious joke. Like Kai posted that. He wouldn't post that if he probably had a big problem with it, right? Bro, there's a clip of him like playing the video game and like his wife like in the background, and people are like, "Yo, she got to be annoying because this nigga probably just dropped 70 points at the crypto arena. He came home, all he want to do is play some football, and she's just yapping at him." Listen,
LeBron is a huge fan of Madden.
This how you making me bring in the new year?
Yeah, that's a folk. I want to play the whole thing.
It's funny because Braun was a big time gamer back then, but he stopped gaming.
Oh my God, can we just get the clip without everybody speaking over this shit, man? It's like LeBron played Madden. LeBron playing Madden. They got Savannah in the background.
Here comes Rager.
This how you making me bring in the new year? This how you making me bring in the new year?
Play man. I mean, listen, I've been in Atlanta all weekend. I got my birthday celebration. I went to a basketball game.
And people, so just to pause it right here and just say, people looked at this and be like, damn, the nigga got to explain himself to his wife why he could get an hour to play some Madden. And obviously, I don't think that's the reality of it. But of course, people put their own narratives like, damn, so you tell me the greatest basketball player in the world, a billionaire, you did all these things in a weekend, and your chick won't give you an hour to play Madden?
We celebrated my birthday with you. Mom's good. Ohio State crushing loss. So I got to get it done. To start the year off with.
So yeah, and just off of this one little TikTok or whatever story thing, some people were like, I wonder if this chick is annoying. You know what I mean? So people build their own narratives. Going back to the Kevin Gates shit, I think he's done, right?
In the fucking playoffs, your main player act like it just, you have a look on your face like, I could be doing more. Like, what more? Like, I loved you for you. Like, when I met you, you look like Lamar Odom. Like,
now, wait. Who is he talking about? Is he saying LeBron looked like Lamar Odom, or is he talking about LeBron's wife? Because if he's saying LeBron's wife looked like Lamar Odom when he just met her, chat, we got to clarify that, because who are you talking about, Chad? Because I'm gonna keep it a bean with you. If he pulled up on Stephen A, he gotta pull up on this nigga now. Did she look? Wait, hold on. Savannah James High School. This is done? She don't look like no Lamar Odom. Yeah. You know what's so funny? I could see, like, you know, I'm trying to go back in the Wayback Machine. I could see LeBron probably feeling he was fortunate to get with a girl like this back in high school before all the fame and everything, right? Like, I'm pretty sure she was Miss Little Poppin' in high school. LeBron James, without the basketball stuff, yes, he was on the basketball team, but LeBron had a face only a mother could love. Let's be honest. LeBron was looking like he was pushing 45. His hairline was already starting to do the Michael Jackson moonwalk. Yeah. So I could see, like, you know, the dynamic at that point was like, yo, Beauty and the Beast. And the Beauty definitely wasn't no damn LeBron. Now, as the more famous he got and rich he got, now people probably look at it and be like, they're critical of her because we're used to not seeing people stay down with the day one. You're used to see them upgrade with the money. As soon as the money comes, you just get this chick with the, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know if they expect LeBron to be with a chick with a BBL of death. You get what I'm saying? Be with like a BBL bandit or something. But I don't think look-wise you could critique her. Yo, look at Kevin Gates' face.
babe, don't laugh at that. I'm trying to be.
Now, here's the thing. Savannah owed Brittany Renner a fade. Brittany Renner, you can't be laughing at and I'm actually surprised Brittany Renner even laughed at that because Brittany Renner is all about empowerment or empowering women, and laughing at LeBron James' wife's looks possibly. It's not empowering.
Babe. Ain't nobody gonna fuck with you about that, you heard me? You can laugh if you want to. You gotta walk out the room. You ain't interrupting my thing. You already interrupted it. This how the conversation came up. We were just looking at like couples and people in the league. And we was talking about how LeBron do the little handshake with Savannah.
All right, bet. So this pretty much happens, and LeBron clearly responded today. He responded today by posting up a picture of him and his wife. And in the caption, it says, "Kings don't concern themselves with the opinions of peasants. We're two next, queen. Let's get it." All right? So, obviously, I think she probably was on his head top, though. But, he posted a little post to get shit back in order. I will say this. The relationships that end up lasting the longest, and this is where I think the problem is. People on social media are so used to getting all the details between a couple, whether married or not. They know about every fight, every argument, because it's documented online, on social media, on somebody's vlog, on somebody's stream, in some comment section, that we take these little moments to think we know these people. LeBron and Savannah seemingly are pretty private. By the way, think about this. The couples that have lasted, we've seen a trend of them go away from, remember when we used to see every argument that Moneybagg Yo and Ari had online? Like, that doesn't seem like the recipe to make a relationship last, when you're going to have now people outside the relationship being cheerleaders and picking sides and be like, yo, why does he always do that? Man, you could do better. Yeah. Think about Alicia Keys, Swiss Beats. Their relationship has lasted a long time. Congrats to them. We don't even know where them niggas be at. Jay-Z, Beyonce. If we didn't, they had to bring us into their conversation by saying, yeah, that nigga did cheat. Becky with a good hair. But we didn't know. We never saw them argue. I mean, well, we did see the little fisticuff in the elevator, but we didn't see much. So we have no idea what the dynamic is between these two, or really any successful married couple. So let them rock out, man. I just want LeBron to get back to winning games, man, because, brother, stop focusing on Kevin Gates and focus on the goddamn Minnesota Timberwolves, nigga. How the hell they lost yesterday? Holy shit, they got their ass beat, too. All right. Oh, good. Let's keep the show on the road. What else is there for me to talk about? So I kind of wanted to get into this, but I don't know if I'm gonna. We're already late, so I don't want to draw down the tempo of the stream if we get into this, what's called Karmelo Anthony situation. If you don't know, basically, there's a young black boy who killed a young white boy. I believe at a track meet or something like that. He killed him. I believe he stabbed him, and the kid died. He was since released on bond, but there's been really a polarizing reaction to this, not only because it's black and white, it's people are talking about things like bullying, and also there's a lot of public support for the person who did the killing, right? Some people feel like, black people are just supporting him because, not necessarily for this situation, because of other situations that black people get the short end of the stick. Some people feel like, you can't blame a kid. When bullying goes too far, a nigga might snap and kill a nigga. And some people feel like there's just more to the story. I don't know the full thing. And I kind of want to get into it. I haven't really invested in that particular story overall yet. And Why not? It's a late night stream. We could probably get into it, right? Let me see if I can find it. I had it on standby. Let me see. There was supposedly a little documentary that kind of broke it down. So we'll kind of go through that. I'm going to try to also, maybe not tonight, I'm going to pull some documents on as much as I can through the court system to see what the current status is. And I don't know if there's any videos. Hold on. Is it this? No. Is it this? I think it is. Okay, I'll just Google it. I thought it was Karmelo Anthony with a K. Okay. Where the heck is the story? Does anyone have a good video that I could watch? I want something that kind of sums up the whole thing. I know the mother spoke. Let me tell you this. With all due respect, anytime you see these niggas start talking, all they do is like they incite race wars. And here's the thing. I want to analyze this, but I also want to take, I don't know if it's possible. I'm hoping this is not just a clear race situation. But anytime you see Roland Martin and them niggas check into a topic, all they do is put black people against white people and line their pockets. Like, that's it. Like, they have no type of, like, obligation to just being objective to, like, facts if it was a raceless situation. All they do is just race bait. And I think that's sad. All right, let me see. So somebody say it's a race war again? Oh, man. Damn, can I get a fucking good video on this? Where are the documentary niggas? Tragic story. I thought I had it in my email. Let me see. I didn't have it in my email. I thought I had it in my email. Hold on. Oh, I do have it here. Great. Okay. Actually, this video don't tell me shit either. Nah, damn. All right, we might have to piece this together ourselves. The thing is, I'm just kind of behind on this entire story. All right, let's get
An emotional farewell in Frisco. Good evening, everybody. I'm Casey Stiegel. Private funeral services were held today for the teen student athlete.
Oh, I'll just go to Law and Crimes. They probably have a good one. Okay, I'll go to Law and Crimes because they're gonna probably be arrested. So we want to get the initial story, right? The initial story, and then we'll go from there. When did this happen? Track meet. Why do they just call them track meet subs? Yeah, I could tell this about to be some racial shit. Bro, everybody knows the guy's name by now. Because at first I was just like, Karmelo Anthony, the basketball player? Like, holy. Yo, I thought this nigga was a shooter. Now he's stabbing people? No joke. You know what I mean? I was just... Karmelo. Track meet.
The high school athlete accused of stabbing and killing another high school athlete at a track meet in Texas is now out on bond. This is video of Karmelo Anthony leaving the county jail per WFAA in Dallas. A judge lowered his bond by a major amount this week. And a fundraising site has raised more than $416,000 for his legal defense, even after he allegedly told police he did it, leaving a brother to die in his twin's arms after he was allegedly stabbed in the heart. We're on the case presented by Law and Crime. I'm Chris Stewart. Cases like the one that we're talking about right now get lives of their own when people use them to talk about issues like self-defense and race in America. That is exactly what's happening in the case of Karmelo Anthony, a high school sports star, now an accused murderer. A judge lowered Anthony's bond from $1 million down to $250,000 this week. This is the new video per WFAA in Dallas of Anthony walking free. He will have to wear a GPS monitor, be on house arrest, check in with the court each week, and if he doesn't do that, he'll go back into custody. We have the probable cause documents from police that lay out what officers say happened when they responded to a high school track meet in the middle of the day on April 2nd for the report of a stabbing. One officer writes that when he first made contact with Anthony and told him to put his hands in the air, Anthony allegedly said, "I was protecting myself." The officer said that Anthony then told him, quote, "He put his hands on me." And when the officer said he had the alleged suspect in custody, Anthony allegedly said, quote, "I'm not alleged, I did it." Several witnesses also came forward to tell police what they saw, and we'll dive into their accounts in just a moment. But I want to first talk about the victim in this case. His name is Austin Metcalf. Metcalf was there to compete in this track meet as well. He was a high school football star in his own right. He was a junior at Frisco's Memorial High School.
Now, chat, you know, at least the angle I'm taking while I'm trying to do some information gathering before I could give you guys an opinion on what I think, whatever. Here's some red flags, chat. Here's some red flags. I believe they're using, I don't know if it's a mugshot of the kid, which is the Karmelo Anthony kid. When they're finding pictures of the nigga who died, they got him just looking as innocent as a motherfucker. You know what I mean? Like, yo, this guy was the nicest guy on earth. You know what I mean? Now, granted, I'm not making any assertions yet. I'm in a collecting, fact-finding phase. However, this is media tactics. Let's give this nigga looking like he's a demon and this nigga looking like an angel, and you're going to make up your mind kind of subliminally.
School football star in his own right. He was a junior at Frisco's Memorial High School. He was team MVP of the football season last year, and his dad says he had a 4.0 GPA in the classroom, and he was planning on playing college football. And when you look at his social media, you could see he was serious about it. Austin posted multiple pics from recruiting trips to places like the University of Arkansas. That is a big-time Division I school. The suspect, Karmelo Anthony, he was captain of his high school's football team. That was Frisco's Centennial High School, which is just about a 14-minute drive away from where Metcalf went to school. These two schools separated by roughly 7 miles.
Karmelo Anthony, class of 2025, Centennial High School, Frisco, Texas.
This is video of Anthony mic'd up at a tournament that he linked to on his X account. On social media, Anthony shows that he was getting offers to play college football. Here are the posts from 2 Division III schools that apparently wanted him on their team. On Anthony's Huddle profile page, which is a social media platform for football players, Anthony made his bio, quote, "God has shown you the right path, just take it." Anthony's path on April 2nd led him to a confrontation with Austin Metcalf that could put him in jail for the rest of his life. So here's what we know based off what police say happened. Multiple schools were competing in this track meet that had to be delayed because of weather. If you've ever run track, typically all the schools involved have their spots around the track where they hang out between events, and in this case, where they were waiting out some weather. Austin's team apparently had a tent, and Anthony went under that tent, and somehow words were exchanged and Anthony was told to leave. In the probable cause document, witnesses say Anthony reaches into his bag and says, quote, "Touch me and see what happens." Austin then touches Anthony to tell him to move, and Anthony then, according to witnesses, says, "Punch me and see what happens." Austin then grabbed Anthony again, and that is when a witness says Anthony takes a knife out and stabs Austin Metcalf in the chest. Austin then grabs his chest and calls for help. He would die in his twin brother's arms near the track. This is a law.
His twin ain't slide immediately?
Crime legal alert. Did you know that children under the process law firm's account had called WFAA TV in the hours after all of this played out?
He's like, "Make me move." Austin grabbed his backpack,
The kid, I tried to whip around as fast as I could, but I didn't see the stab. But then I look at my brother, and then I'm not going to talk about the rest.
Austin seemed to be very close with his family. Here's a picture of his brother with their dad. Now, as far as Anthony, police say he ditched the knife and ran before he was arrested by officers who know in their reports that Anthony was hysterically crying when arrested and asked if Metcalf would be okay. Anthony seemed to believe what happened was self-defense. Police, though, have not seen it that way. Here's the probable cause affidavit. You can see Anthony is facing a charge of murder. And initially, he was held on $1 million bond. And that gets us to the update that we are following this week after a hearing about that bond. At a court hearing, Anthony, his attorneys, their family argued that the bond was just too high, that it was unfair to be that high, that Anthony had to remain behind bars ahead of his trial, which could be months from now. A judge decided to lower Anthony's bond from $1 million to $250,000. Cameras weren't allowed in the courtroom, but this is what we're hearing about what happened. Anthony's parents testified and argued that their son is a straight-A student, that he's never been in trouble before, and he's the oldest of 4 children. He also worked 2 jobs, including currently as a cashier at a grocery store, and on top of that, he was captain of his high school's football team. According to CBS News, Anthony's attorney wanted bond lowered from $1 million to $150,000. Prosecutors didn't call witnesses at this hearing, but they said bond should stay the same because they argue that's typically where bond is set for murder cases in Collin County, Texas. Since Austin Metcalf's death, the Anthony family has been able to raise quite a bit of money for Karmelo Anthony's legal defense. This is the fundraising page on the site Give, Send, Go. It's similar to a GoFundMe, and at this point, you can see it's raised more than $416,000. This page was started by the Anthony family, and it reads, quote, "The narrative being spread is false, unjust, and harmful. As a family of faith, we are deeply grateful for all of your support during this trying period. Your prayers and assistance mean more to us now more than ever." Comments on the side of the page show people giving money and
Okay. I'll skip past this for a little bit. So let me ask y'all a question. Because I heard bullying. Now, is it a possibility that this kid was he was being bullied by this other kid and he finally had enough and snapped? Because there's a few questions. Why do you have a knife in your bag? How long has this behavior been happening? Now, none of that actually really justifies him murdering the dude. But also, if we're talking about murder and what charge would be applicable, I think it's also worth noting to consider. It seems like there was also, if the reports are correct, he was trying to bait that nigga too. All right, nigga, just hit me. It's like, imagine if I have a gun and I'm telling someone, just do something, or I'm telling them to do a specific action that I could use the gun. Right? That becomes a real tricky type of situation.
In many ways, the go-to site for defendants who find...
I see some people saying it. That could be consideration for premeditated murder. Now, I still think premeditated murder is a hard sell because the mere fact that even afterwards he said, did he die? Is he okay? I don't think he intended to kill him, but his actions definitely killed him. So premeditated murder, the intent would be to kill him. I don't know if that was the intent, but if you're asking someone to do things that you could do another thing, it is premeditated. I just don't know if it's premeditated murder.
And themselves.
But is there, I don't think there's such a thing as premeditated. You can't say assault. This person died. Was it manslaughter? Yeah. See, manslaughter wouldn't be premeditated, right? I don't know. I guess it would be murder. I got to see the statutes on that.
In interesting legal situations. It's the same site where people have raised hundreds of thousands of dollars for the legal defense of Luigi Mangione, the man who's accused of killing United Health, because GoFundMe does. In the past, it's been a site that's become a go-to place for people raising money for. Anthony's father was reportedly asked during this hearing why the Anthonys haven't used the hundreds of thousands of dollars already raised to bail their son out of jail. It might be $1 million bond, but in some cases you can get a bail bondsman to cover most of of it and you just have to put forward 10%. He said to that question, the site isn't a bond fund. Metcalf's family also has a fundraising site, but the money for that was used in part to lay their son to rest. Right now, that page has more than $341,000. Metcalf was laid to rest last week at a church in Frisco. The Metcalfs are encouraging people to donate money to create a scholarship on their son's behalf. Anthony's bail was lowered to $250,000, and we'll talk about why the judge did that in just a moment and why at least one defense attorney believes that was a fair decision. The court said that Anthony would have to be on house arrest, wear that electronic monitoring device, and will check in with the court each week on Fridays. According to WFAA, the judge said in the courtroom where every seat was filled that deputies provided more security than she had ever seen for a case, which is just an example of the attention that this story is receiving in Texas and beyond. Joining us now once again to talk about this case is criminal defense attorney Bridget.
Okay.
It is more clear in how the law says it, as opposed to where if Karmelo Anthony goes into court and makes the argument, maybe Austin Metcalf was bigger than I was afraid for my life in that moment, and I was just trying to defend myself. If it's an equal force law, that doesn't seem like it could line up particularly well as a defense.
Well, that's why the defense moves forward generally with the trial setting, right? So they can bring all of those facts out in trial and give that explanation to a jury.
Okay.
In wake of this tragic incident, our family has been under attack. Whatever you think what happened between Karmelo and the Metcalf boys, my 3 younger children, my husband, and I didn't do anything to deserve to be threatened, harassed, and lied about.
The family of a star athlete turned murder suspect accused of killing a fellow athlete at a track meet now is speaking out in this news conference saying they've become the victim of threats. This video per KDFW. And at that news conference, a shocking moment. The victim's father, there in person, he was escorted out by police. The suspect in this case is no longer in custody. He's out on bond after a decision that some have called controversial by the judge to lower it by $750,000. It's a move that's now made that judge the target of internet hate, raising security concerns. And we'll also talk about the suspect's family and what they said about accusations they've used money from a crowdfunding website to boost their lifestyle, including the accusation they moved into a $900,000 home. We're on the case presented by Law and Crime. I'm Chris Stewart. We have a lot to update you on in a case that we've been following out of Texas, in the Dallas area, in the death of Austin Metcalf, a high school athlete who was allegedly murdered by another athlete whose name is Karmelo Anthony. Let's talk about Metcalf first. He was a star athlete in football, but also in track, which is why he was at the track meet on April 2nd. He was MVP of his high school's football team. He was also an A student. He died after being stabbed at that track meet in Frisco, Texas on April 2nd. Now, the suspect in this case was a fellow athlete at this track meet competing for another high school. His name's Karmelo Anthony. He's charged with murder. This is video of him leaving jail this week after he posted bond. This video from WFAA TV. Now, the reason that Karmelo was able to post bond was it was significantly lowered after a court appearance this week. Judge Angela Tucker lowered it from $1 million to $250,000. Tucker did not allow cameras in the courtroom, but according to KDFW TV, Anthony's attorney said $1 million bond was too high and it wasn't necessary to keep Anthony from fleeing the charges. The attorney also argued, quote, "This family needs to be able to survive." Prosecutors argued that bond should be kept at $1 million because they say that is the standard bond amount for murder cases.
All right, I'll start giving us some opinions as we're kind of getting some more information. We haven't gotten to this racial element yet, so I guess I'm going to have to hit the pundits for their interpretation of why it's racial. For all I know, this is an incident between 2 kids. There's definitely more to the story, but one kid seemed like he may have been provoked, right? And not necessarily provoked to commit murder, but the provocation led to him murdering the next person. Now, once we throw in the fact black and white, one looks like they come from maybe a more affluent family, or at least a family where you know when they show people like background and stuff, the only good picture they could show of this kid, or not good picture, not saying they don't have good pictures, they only show the picture of him like looking like he's at some type of, you know, workout training camp thing. And then when they're showing the other dude, he looks super younger, standing with his dad. You see dad and mom. It's a complete family. It just looks like the perfect, like what they say the perfect family is. You know what I mean? Mom and dad in the house. Y'all living in some suburbs. So that does kind of, you know, probably add on to why people feel there is a racial element there, because usually people, they'll demonize you based on how the picture the media uses, whatever the case is. So we'll actually get to that. But the bond situation, I don't disagree with the bond being reduced, and I don't think it's for any racial reasons. I'll tell you why I don't disagree with it being reduced. I think there's a reasonable argument, not saying it'll work, but there's a reasonable argument that the defense could have that, hey, this isn't a standard murder case. This is a case where we're telling you now we're going in for self-defense. You get what I'm saying? And based off of just the little information we know, based off what he said, even though, by the way, him running away from the crime scene, that wasn't a good thing. But he admitted that he did it. He was asking about the dude. He basically was kind of almost saying self-defense shit as soon as he got caught. Let that be proven in court, but you could reduce it from, you could reduce the bail a little bit. If $1 million is a standard for all murder cases, I'm thinking of that being, yo, you just walked up on someone and shot him. Okay, $1 million. But if there is a reasonable inference could be made that this shit could be self-defense, lower it a bit. Still to a significant amount, because $250,000 is still a significant amount. But I have no problem with them lowering it, okay? Obviously, that's going to cause a rift, because now people are going to be looking at it like this. It's a black judge, black defendant, white family. Then we're seeing people have uproar. By the way, I'm going to get to, I seen Aiden Ross like donated money. It looked like people really give a fuck about this shit. Okay.
Cases in Collin County, Texas. In the wake of the decision, the backlash against Judge Tucker has been fierce. You can see her account on X is now private. Collin County, Texas also put this out on social media saying, quote, "We are aware of a social media post on this platform that appears to dox a sitting judge. Sharing a judge's private information is a crime and will be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law." Tucker is a Republican, and she's the first black judge in Collin County, which is near Dallas. She reportedly said in court during Anthony's most recent bond hearing that the security surrounding this case is already the most...
We already went through this.
Right.
Okay, so let's get to this press conference.
Family. The fundraiser has been established to provide comprehensive assistance to the Anthony family as they navigate the many challenges surrounding Karmelo's case. Prosecutors asked Anthony's father during the bond hearing why the family wasn't using the money to get Karmelo out of jail when his bond was at $1 million. To which the father reportedly replied that the site was not a, quote, bond fund.
We got through this already. Let's get to this.
A single dime.
Another very notable moment at this news conference happened before it began, and it was Austin Metcalf's dad appearing in person in sunglasses,
Let me watch the press conference real quick. I haven't seen this in full. Damn, everybody has commentary on this, huh? I just want to get to the mom.
You're a journalist, you're a weather journalist, how the weather was that day and that time.
Like so many other families, we wanted to give our children the future we did not have. My husband works hard every single day to provide for us, to make sure we're in the best financial position possible. As a stay-at-home mom, I made it my life's mission to ensure our children are loved, nurtured, and supported every step of the way. In wake of this tragic incident, our family has been under attack. Whatever you think what happened between Karmelo and the Metcalf boys, My 3 younger children, my husband, and I didn't do anything to deserve to be threatened, harassed, and lied about. The lies and false accusations that have been said about us, especially over the past week, has been overwhelming. The lies and their amplification put my family in danger, as well as everyone in our community, everyone involved in the investigation, from the police, the attorneys, and the court staff. Our address and my husband's previous employer's address has been put on all social media platforms. My husband had to take a leave of absence because he's afraid what may happen to our family.
By the way, these are reasonable things, I think. Yeah, this is a big story. I imagine a lot of doxings happening. Yeah, I would imagine it is move around time. I hear people are concerned that the dude is now living, not concerned, but they're like, yo, he's living in a mansion now. And he's clearly using that money to, nah, I'm not looking at it like that. All right. I don't know if she says anything more important, but apparently this is some more details right here. This is a witness. Deal Hughley posted this.
Everyone in Texas is all about stand your ground and self-defense until that person doesn't look like me. This case is racially charged, and stick with me here. If the roles were reversed, if Karmelo Anthony was 220 pounds with his twin brother, picking on a white kid, putting hands on a white kid, and he got unalived, y'all would say that he got exactly what was coming to him, and if he would have kept his hands to himself, he would still be here today. Because y'all want to say, oh, it's not self-defense. Austin and his brother are 220-pound football players, and Karmelo was 130 pounds. If you can't visualize that, I'm 180.
Really? Okay. That's really good info. 220, 130, that's definitely a thing.
80. I got 50 pounds on the kid. Not only were they both in his face, but one of them put hands on him. He was scared. You can't tell me that race isn't a thing because it's in my TikTok comments and I've seen hundreds of comments on Facebook. So if you flip this scenario and Karmelo Anthony was the aggressor in this situation and your opinion changed, you are racially biased. And to the white people in my comments calling me a white savior, God forbid I have empathy.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not looking at this as a race thing, even though I think the racial element is more how the media would portray it. I'm just looking at it from a court sense. If somebody pushes you, could you shoot them? Could you stab them? I mean, this idea of stand your ground or self-defense is, at what point do you fear for your life? Now, I think the witnesses, and I don't know if this was a witness. I don't know if she's a witness or just someone who probably has a difference of opinion about the situation compared to most people that probably share her skin color. I think it might just be a tough sell to say this is self-defense and stand your ground. Unless maybe the way the white boy did whatever he did to him was a hard punch, pushed him to the ground. They surrounded him. But even then, it's going to not help their case when they bring to the judge and the jury, yo, we asked him to leave, and he told us, nah, nigga, if you want me to leave, you better put hands on me. All right, move, nigga. All right, yo, if you want me to leave, you got to punch me now. The dude punches him, then he stabs him. If that's the story, that's going to be a little bit tricky. It's going to be a little bit tricky if that's it, right? Okay. This is the funeral. There's a recap of the funeral. Jesus Christ, there's so much info about this damn story. All right. We're going to our pundit over here, Charleston White. He got some thoughts on this shit. Here we go.
This was not a racial killing. So why are the adults coming in playing the race game? The worst thing y'all could do is play the race game in this redneck county, nigga. That black judge, they are already working to get her out of there. She will not be a judge in Collin County anymore. And if you from the Dallas-Fort Worth area, you know them people don't play out there, nigga. They from out of town. These are outsiders. They will make an example out of that black kid. And black people will get him hung playing the race card. How dumb can you be? This is the time we supposed to say, let's come together. Why can't we all get along? This is that time so we can have his life.
Is Charleston driving? I know he already got one eye and he's looking at the camera and his hands, he's on some hands-free shit. Or is it, because I think his camera is flipped, so it looks like he's in a passenger seat, but I think this might be the driver's seat.
They go hang that boy. He deserved to go to prison. If you take a life, you
Oh, never mind. He's not driving because I see a car on this side. He's in the. I was about to say.
Ain't supposed to be able to walk away with no consequences. It's consequences to your actions, right or wrong. Even if you justified to take a life, your life wasn't in danger.
Now, here's the thing. Along with this whole race thing, I think it's like the OJ situation. Once it becomes a race thing, it's not necessarily about the crime. It's usually like it's like basketball. Yo, we might need this as a makeup call for a lot of fuck shit y'all do. And that's the unfortunate thing, because for the family of the deceased, the bigger story now becomes, how are black people seen when they're standing your ground versus someone that is white or non-black, how they're seen when they're standing their ground. And it's not about the individual facts of that particular case. It's basically, yo, white versus black. And I think for the victim's family, that might suck. Now, I do think it's helping Karmelo, because this is the only time I think we would rally behind a murderer. Like, for example, and there's a little bit of this with the Luigi Mangione thing. There are niggas who really don't believe he did it. And really, they know he did it. It's like, they're just saying, man, that nigga is a real nigga, man. Like, healthcare companies been fucking with us. They've been eating good. I'm glad somebody did something. So they're hoping that he gets found innocent. And they're also believing in these conspiracy theories that, nah, he couldn't have been alone. And how do we really know it was him? Yo, he planned this so good. Like, I was arguing with my brother about this. My brother, one of them people, like, we were at Thanksgiving dinner or whatever. We argued over this shit. He's like, why would he do all the smart shit to get caught at McDonald's? And I'm like, bro, do you really think that this guy is like some fucking genius? Like, no, he's just a murderer. It's okay. Like, he could have murdered for a cause that you maybe, not that you're down with the idea of murder, but you understand why people are mad at healthcare companies. But are we over here litigating because you're mad at healthcare companies, or we're saying, did you murder the guy? And that's what I'm saying about this. Are we talking about stand your ground? Because I love these conversations about stand your ground, right? Like, I me being someone who, you catch me in pretty much every state but New York and California, I'm going to have a licensed weapon on my hip. You get what I'm saying? And I make it my business, depending where I'm at, to know these laws. If it ever, God forbid, gets to a case where you have to use it, right? Like, for example, in many places, if you get punched, somebody just socks you in the mouth, you can't just shoot somebody. It just doesn't work like that, right? And so these ideas and conversations about self-defense and stand your ground, I get it, and I love those, but I think it's going to get overshadowed by just straight black and white, bro. Just straight black and white. You get what I'm saying? Now I see, I got to find some of the clips of people talking about. They're talking about bullying. They're talking about these other things. Anyway.
Karmelo was wrong, dead wrong. In the witness accounts of what he said, he grabbed the book bag. Let me tell black people how dumb y'all is. Don't you know they got a police report with the evidence of a knife and not a cleat sharpener? There's no such thing as a cleat sharpener. They have evidence, a police report where they confiscated a knife. How dumb can y'all be? And black people, y'all don't have no compassion for a parent who have to bury their child. Y'all haven't extended no level of empathy for another dead kid. Black people, I hate that this kid will be sacrificed, but he's not from real, so I don't give a fuck about it. Fuck him. His daddy is a weak nigga to me. Nigga, y'all out here in this $900,000 house renting. These people say y'all got 4 or 5 registered failed businesses in, man,
Now, I don't agree with Charleston with that. I think your racial bias comes out if you talk about anything but the incident. I don't care if he's living in a $20 million house right now. I don't care. You know, again, obviously there should be some oversight with how the money that is given for his legal defense, how it's used. But that won't taint how I look at his character. His character will only be dictated on what did you do at that time? Does it stand up to the legal definition of stand your ground or self-defense, or is it murder? That's it. Anything else, people are interjecting their personal or their racial bias. Like Charleston White, love him, but him saying they have failed businesses, what that got to do with anything? It seems like you're saying that to say, yo, this kid and his family, they're usually trying to get over with something. They're not good people. They're finessers. Which kind of shows a tint of course this nigga did it. Of course he's guilty. See, I don't like that. Let's only talk about the incident, if you ask me.
They finna make a mockery out of y'all. But your daddy, nigga, the daddy ain't got nothing to say and his boy dead. You let the bitch do, nigga, you weak, nigga. That's why the boy weak. You weak, that's why the boy weak. And the mama weak, cause nigga, she doing all this goddamn talking, but he left out of your house with a knife. With a knife. Stay at home, mom.
See, that doesn't matter too. This whole stay at home, see, that's, again, but that is a point. I do believe, y'all heard me say before, spare the rod, spoil the child. I believe that when you have a child, I'm always flabbergasted when I hear that children are committing murders and robberies and are allowed to run the streets. I think a parent don't have a child if you can't fully supervise a child. You should be held accountable for, you know, like, for example, if I had a child and I have 50 guns here and my child just grab a gun because I'll keep one, blah, 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 and he grabs it and said, man, I'm about to go kill this nigga who talking to my bitch. And they do it, they're probably coming to charge me too, because not only was I negligent as a gun owner, I think doubly, like, you're negligent as a parent. So I do believe that if your kid is bringing a knife to school, as the mother and father, it's your fault. Absolutely. Now, stay-at-home mom, we don't care about that shit. We're only talking about the relevant details. If a child is carrying a knife, a gun, or any weapon, that is partially the fault of the parent. Because here's the thing. You also got to teach your kid, if they do have an issue, they should come to mommy and daddy. If they do have an issue, they should resolve it with during these means, not taking a butcher knife or whatever knife to school. That is on the parents.
And nobody cares about your daughter can't sleep because y'all getting death threats. Your son killed somebody.
Somebody said, well, I keep hearing cleat sharpener. Let me Google what that is. Cleat sharpening tool. It said it was a knife. It said cleat sharpener is just another round file. It said it would be difficult to stab someone with one. What the fuck? Okay, so it was a knife.
That boy brother can't sleep from holding his brother dying. You think y'all are not the victims. Karmelo Anthony, you and your renting family, y'all are not homeowners in a town full of homeowners. Y'all are renters. You're not even from here. And you done brought people that's not from here to cause trouble and try to divide us from our good blacks. You're gonna pay, Anthony family. They're gonna.
Damn, That's the Uncle Ruckus in him right there.
They're gonna hang, your boy's gonna suffer. See, right now, y'all don't know. The dad's a convicted felon. They're gonna, man, this kid is...
That got nothing to do with it. See, this part of it, I feel like Charleston is kind of pandering a bit to white folks, but also secondly, which I think is more important, Charleston is one of those guys. I don't even necessarily think that Charleston is just like an Uncle Tom. I think Charleston is one of them people where he's like a snobby black, right? Where he's the one who he'll be like, stop walking on the lawn. Like he's almost like a curmudgeon when it comes to shit like that. So when he's like shaming them, he's like, y'all rent. Y'all don't even own in a community filled with homeowners. I don't think necessarily he's just talking about them because they're black. I think he looks down on them. It's like a lot of homeowners in most communities, if somebody come in the neighborhood and they start bringing the property value down, the neighbors start resenting that motherfucker. I think, and again, Charleston doesn't live there, but it appears that's also going on. But it comes off overall like he's trying to pander to whites, though. I will say.
He's gonna pay as he should. Because they got all these dumbass black people playing a race card in a racist town. And I wouldn't call them racist.
Tyrell Day.
They just don't like your kind. And
we're going to answer that question or try to answer it.
Neither do I. I hate a victim-minded black person. I hate a black person that doesn't take accountability. I hate a criminal-minded black person. I hate a nigga that let his wife do all the speaking. So I surely don't like that father. He let his bitch do all the talking, hollering and screaming with all those emotions like the black woman have. Oh, man, that's a strike against the culture.
Okay. Apparently there's also another video where you're speaking about. We're gonna get to this video. Give 1 second. I'm trying to pull it up. We're going to get to this video where they actually break down what self-defense is. But before then, apparently we got another Charleston White one. Look like he's been going off this whole time. They say he's speaking on the bond. Is it this? When was this? This was the 5th. Holy shit. How long has this situation been going on? April 5th. Oh, I think I just passed it. This
God can't bless black people because black people got a heart of retribution and vengeance and violence and anger. They want to get back at white people. No wonder Dr. King them could get some things and we can't. But Dr. King them say, hey man, don't hit them back. Hey man, don't hit them back. And them people got way more. Now this group say, let's kill them. Let's kill them. But your kids, you hear about kids every day in the hood schools getting bullied, but y'all don't have this much outrage for bullying. They have a no bullying month, but y'all don't have this much outrage. But now...
You know what confuses me about Charleston when it comes to this situation? Charleston always bragged about, he said, he's one of the people who enacted violence on whites, and he didn't do it to people of his own community. And he was almost saying it to say most black people who do black on black crime, they're stupid, because if you're claiming that the white people are oppressing y'all, why don't y'all just ride? Charleston White and his friends killed a white man back in the day. And after they killed this white man, Charleston White eventually testified against his friend that did the shooting. And his explanation later became, hey, listen, we planned the robbery, but the robbery turned to a murder, but I was the person who handed the gun to the person. Because Charleston White was a minor at that time, and because he cooperated, he was allowed to live this life. He was allowed to have some redemption. So watching him basically, claim or hope that this black dude goes to jail. And if you don't know, there is a video of him testifying against the kid. This was when Charleston was younger. Charleston White testifying. This was the white man that got killed. You see the white man right there? And this was the guy right there who was the shooter.
In the gun out the backseat of the car.
16-year-old Charleston White took the stand and testified against his friend, Antoine Doolittle, who sat just a few feet from him and listened intently.
He pulled the hammer back on the gun.
And then what happened?
He fired it.
Doolittle is accused of gunning down 34-year-old Michael Levy of Irving. Levy attempted to stop Doolittle, White, and 2 other teenagers accused of shoplifting 3 sports jackets and a baseball cap from an Arlington mall in September of 1991. Witnesses say Levy pounded on their windshield until the teens threw the jackets out the car window. Then Doolittle supposedly shot him in the back as Levy walked away. White repeated the conversation he says he had with Doolittle after the shooting.
I said, look, you shot him.
What did he do?
Started laughing.
Levy had been married only 4 days when he was shot.
But I always had my dreams of my Prince Charming. And I found him. And it's hard to believe, but I did. And I believe in fairy tales because he made my dreams come true. And they took that away.
White will be testifying against all 3 of his buddies in exchange for a maximum sentence of 12 years. A juvenile judge reduced the charge from capital murder to murder against Doolittle, so the teenager faces from 5 years to life in prison.
Okay, so Charleston was accused of a race-related crime as well, because the guy who him and his friends robbed, and subsequently killed was white. Right? So I'm wondering why his opinion is so different here.
All of a sudden, it's out, let's kill the bully. Most of y'all are bullies. Talk to him today. Most of y'all are, come on, cuz, OG, bullies. Come on, Crip Blood bullies. But now we want to kill the bully. When most of black children go to school every day and have to face a bully, why you think they got to wear Michael Jordan tennis shoes? But now we got a problem with bullies, huh? When have we ever told our kids to go kill the bully? We taught our kids how to stand up to the bully. No matter if it was 2 of them, fight both of them. But you don't put your life in danger to kill. Unless you got killing in you, but if you listen to kill music, you got killing in you. There's no way good kids kill. I know a nigga stabbed the girl 93 times, but before he got to 93, he dropped the knife. She begged and she pleaded. He dropped the knife. But because he was abused and he had anger and he had rage inside of him for what his daddy was doing to him.
This is a video of Charleston talking about the murder. That's a longer video.
All right, here we go. We have one of the most controversial figures on the internet. A lot of people have been asking.
He was on crack, and so my mother was trying to every Friday and Saturday call Deals and Qualities. And so we went to the Forum 303 Mall. We went to Foot Locker. Tony Dorsett, a legendary running back for the Dallas Cowboys. Tony Dorsett had a club at this mall. So when we go inside the Foot Locker, there was this black dude that looked like he could run fast. So we went and played video game. We said we'll do it later. So we come back later on that day, come back, and it was a white guy working in there. So we went in there, tried on hats, tried on jackets, and ran out. And in the process of us running out, there was a white guy by the name of Michael Levy in the parking lot working on his car. Unbeknownst to us, Mr. Levy had just got married 3 days prior to that incident. And so he saw what was happening, saw us running out, and tried to thwart us, tried to stop us from stealing those jackets. He ran, jumped on top of the car, started hitting the windshield with some tool that he was working on his car with. Glass was shattering in my friend's face. I handed him the gun and instructed him to shoot Mr. Levy. He shot Mr. Levy. we drove away laughing. I made everybody laugh, you know, being the comical guy that I am, not really having a full understanding and concept what we had just done, right? We didn't know he was dying. We didn't know he had died. Undeveloped brains. So we leave there, we abandon the car across the street from the mall, walk across the street, go over to some older teenager guy's house. They give us a ride to a dope fiend who we was going to go trick with, and that's where we got caught. I remember being arrested, man, and the police officer, because I was already been in trouble with the police before. I was out on a year.
Okay, now you talks about cooperating. That the cooperation video dropped recently.
This is what me and Gilly the Kid fell out over. How you go put street rules down on at 14, 15, 16? How? I'm not a street kid. I'm not a criminal. I'm a kid who was raised to tell the truth. When my mama come in and say, son, what happened? Mama, I didn't do that. I got a paid for a lawyer. I got 2 lawyers, Carl Mallory and Louis Stearns. Louis Stearns became Judge Stearns, Judge Louis Stearns. But nigga, I had 2 paid for lawyers. Nigga, my mama is a well-to-do mama. I'm just playing, I ain't playing. I'm an adolescent going through an adolescent stage of rebelliousness.
That's the one thing I'm wondering, because he seems forgiving of kids, but not in this situation.
I ain't no street. Hell yeah, I'm gonna tell on you. I've been telling since I was a little bitty boy. I've been telling all my life. Mama, Kevin did, nigga, I've been telling to, yeah, so all of a sudden I ain't gonna tell. And my mama crying saying, son, and then fuck him. I don't met them in the 8th grade. I don't know them. I didn't go to elementary. Well-to-do kids, hell, I'm a good kid. Hell, from the jump, I say, hell yeah, I told nigga, my mama came in to who, he did it, mama. And my lawyer and them say, this is what we going with. That's how I became famous on the internet. Remember the Pop Hunter situation of how Charleston White got started. Same situation. Raised in the streets. Arrested and go to juvenile. He went down to pick my cousin up from...
Okay, all right, enough. Okay. Now, let's get back to the situation. Because, as I said, this should be just a straight up and down textbook case of is it self-defense or not. There's a lawyer who's discussing this. He discussed it on News Nation. Mark O'Mara, self-defense, Karmelo Anthony. So let's get a little bit of details.
All right, so Anthony was being held on $1 million bond, which was crazy. Today, they reduced it to $250,000, which is, you know, still sizable, but he wound up getting out. All right, so Mark, first of all, the idea of race, I mean, you lived it with Zimmerman in a big way. There's so many people who believe that that's why Zimmerman wound up beating that case. But what do you see here? What are your questions? What will matter?
Oh, no, it's definitely a consideration. It always is, whether it's a sort of obvious what we're doing or the implicit one, because we all carry these implicit biases with us that perceive or impact how we perceive an event. Now, what's really it's going to come down to, and I disagree with the guy who said this is not a self-defense case yesterday, I think he said it. This is definitely a self-defense case because it always is one until you look at the facts of the case and compare the two. You have to compare who was the initial aggressor. Was it an aggressive act for him to go up and say, get away from the tent? Did he do more than that? My understanding was maybe he touched him and put hands on him. Granted, that makes the decedent in this case maybe the initial aggressor. But you really still then have to look at whether or not Karmelo Anthony responded with appropriate force, he used a deadly weapon, and whether or not he was in imminent fear of great bodily injury. That's the standard in Texas and most every state to determine whether or not his actions, the way he perceived him, the way Karmelo Anthony perceived him when he took out that knife and stabbed him. The good part is if the decedent was the aggressor initially. The bad part for Karmelo, if in fact it's true that he sort of said, touch me and you'll see, because that's that aggression, that's that predisposition towards violence. That,
by the way, and hate to cut this guy off, I'm going to back it up a little bit in a second. Pause. So I know people want to compare this to the Zimmerman case. Here's a big difference, right? The big difference with that is again, I like to use the idea of like CCWs, which is concealed carry. Any classes, if you have lawyers that are like insurance lawyers for those things, that, maybe you get in a situation where you shoot somebody or kill them. This idea of self-defense, they always say, number one, if you pull the gun out, you might as well kill them. At least in Jersey, they say you might as well kill a nigga. Reason being is that if that person could make it to court, it's going to be a long day for you. Number two, the thing with the Zimmerman case is, remember, dead man tells no tales. But because there was nobody that has a solid report of what went on, Zimmerman was allowed to go with his story. And what his story going to be? It's going to be concocted by the lawyers, curtailed to kind of match a police report, but it's going to play to the letter of the law that is textbook self-defense. Here's the problem here. If this is under a tent, there's other people that's within an earshot. They're hearing what's going on. Because the big thing is he's going to have to take the stand. He's going to have to take the stand, right? In a self-defense case, if you're not taking a stand, it's like, what are you doing? So he's going to have to explain how he felt to the moment. Because again, so the standard is, what did he think at that moment? Did he fear for his life? Now, here's a bunch of things that does also come into question. And by the way, I would imagine the defense would try their best to try to throw out things like this. Say this guy was a fighter. He used to fight niggas all the time. There's videos of him on YouTube. I'm not saying there is. But if there's videos of him on YouTube or his Twitter, which I think is still up, if he's tweeting about, I just beat this nigga's ass. If it was a guy that's used to or has been in multiple other physical fights with hands, the jury might look at it a little bit different. If that's allowed to be presented, and say, well, you fought before. Why this time you felt you had to stab somebody in the chest? How is his demeanor? This is where race might come in. Sometimes the, colloquial, language that African Americans use, other people that aren't African American or people that are not of color, they view a lot of that as words of violence. I mean, shit, even a damn cop, when the black woman, what's her name? Is it Sonia Massey or something? I can't remember her full name. When she said, I rebuke you, that nigga thought he heard some crazy shit. He just started letting off. Shit. Black people, we talk a little bit different. It could be like, all right, nigga, let's get it cracking. So I'm pretty sure the prosecutors are gonna go down his history of social media footprint. How does he talk? Is he always talking about violence? He's always saying, yo, listen, it's on site for niggas. And they're gonna try to make him seem like, oh no, this was a kid already prone for violence, and it doesn't live up to the standard that he was in fear for his life. He just wanted to catch a body.
That doesn't have a place in a true self-defense case.
What's the most important question for you in this, Mark? And then I want the same from you, Professor, if you have one. Go ahead, Mark.
Sure. Who truly was the initial aggressor? How did this unfold such that if, in fact, he had a reason to believe great bodily injury was imminent, was it reasonable? Was he pushed? Was he shoved? Was he hit? Because don't forget, it's of the moment, but you are allowed to respond to great deadly force with your own great deadly force, or at least your perception of great deadly force. So it's really going to be fact-based. I do think that race, it's going to be played out on social media. It also is going to be...
Which, by the way, obviously, I guess in every case, but the Brick Baby and Big U case, he should say nothing, right? Because he's going to have to take the stand. If he got a girlfriend, I'm pretty sure the lawyers are telling him, don't explain nothing to your girlfriend because you break up with her before this trial starts, and she's now with the prosecutor saying, nah, Karmelo been telling me for months he was about to kill one of these niggas. Like, whoa, you know what I mean? He got to keep his mouth quiet, can't say nothing, got to get ready and go get prepped to get on that stand eventually. Eventually.
Be played out in a courtroom if you ever get there, because in today's day and age, I would argue that someone like Karmelo Anthony now has a heightened concern over the past few years and the way we've sort of degraded some of the progress we may have thought we made over the past decade, as far as how we're treating young black males in the system, such that maybe he would have felt more preyed upon than he otherwise would. Interesting. You're right. We're going to be talking about this for a long time.
Professor, what do you got?
Hello? Oh, I'm
Professor?
sorry.
Yeah, Professor.
This is all about who the jury is. This will all be determined by the jury. If the racial factors were reversed, if a white man had killed an unarmed black man, everybody would be on the reverse side of this. We live in a society where everything is judged by race. You know, the Bible says to judges and prosecutors, don't recognize people, just do abstract justice. We're way, way, way beyond that. If the racial elements were reversed there, virtually all the people who are calling for him to be acquitted would be calling for him to be convicted, and vice versa. Let's not kid ourselves. We live in a race-conscious society, and jury selection, which, of course, your other guest is so brilliant at and did so well in the Zimmerman case, is determine the outcome of this case, without a doubt.
For me, it's as simple as, how do they feel about this proposition? Bringing a knife to a fist fight. Right. Mark O'Mara, we'll see what happens.
Well, you see, the defense has a lot to play with, if you ask me. You know, one of the arguments I would imagine they would have, they come from their family's history. I don't know. Maybe they don't come from a good neighborhood. He felt he needed to bring a knife, not for these guys, but he brought a knife for protection because he had to walk through dangerous neighborhoods to get to school. He didn't have a car to bring him back home, so he was walking alone at night, late night many times. So he had a knife for protection. I think there's ways to explain having a knife. I think on face value it sounds horrible. Like, why do you, especially if he never normally brought a knife. If he never normally brought a knife, and that one day he brought a knife, and then he's trying to entice an argument to use that knife, of course, but of course, no defense attorney is going to say, yeah, that's what happened. They're going to be like, no, it comes from a bad neighborhood. Oh, it's going to be this is going to be a very interesting trial, if you ask me.
Alan Dershowitz, thank you very much. Hey, thanks for watching.
Okay. And I think, are those all the clips they wanted me to watch? Because I think that's the latest. He's out. I seen Aiden Ross commented on it. Let's see what Aiden says. So he donated $10,000 to the Austin, or honoring Austin Metcalf, help his family. And this is what he said.
Bro, I know we don't talk about politics anymore, shit like that, but that shit really pissed me off what's going on in the world right now, bro, with you-know-who, bro. Track me shit. Bro, I try to bite my tongue nowadays, bro. But, like, I ain't gonna lie, bro. How do I not, bro? I have a platform for a reason, bro. I can say whatever the fuck I want. The fuck you mean who? He killed someone, he's out. Like, how the fuck does that work? Like, bro, he's literally like, what? like, what? What do you mean stop? I'm dead serious. He's literally, he stabbed him and he's out. Like, bro, what? Like, what? No, I'm dead, bro. I'm dead, bro. I'm not joking, bro. It doesn't make any sense at all. Y'all saying shut the fuck up? I'm dead serious. No, I don't give a fuck if people mad at me, bro. I say what I want, bro. That's what streaming's about. If they gonna ban me for opinion, they gotta ban all the other political streamers on Twitch too. Come on, let's be real here. I'm not disrespecting anybody. I'm just being real. Self-defense. Okay, cool. So you would feel comfortable putting your kid in a school with a kid who has a fucking knife in school? Bro, y'all are so stupid, bro. If y'all get bullied in school, tell your teachers or tell your parents. Don't fucking try to kill somebody, bro. Please don't kill anybody. Death is very bad. It's crazy I have to even speak on it.
Yeah, well, I agree with the first half of what he said. I do think if people are getting bullied, they should have options, not murdering the person. The dude getting out, there's a bail system that usually, if they got the money, why not? What are you talking about? Like, you know what I mean? I have no problem with the dude getting released. It's not that he got let off the hook. He's still charged with murder. He has to face these charges at some point or another. So I particularly don't have any issue with him being released on bond. And yeah, we're just going to see what happens at trial. I think there's so many issues that are going to just come up. But I also think even hearing someone like Aiden Ross speak about this, there's a lot of biases in this shit, right? Like, we're not thinking about self-defense. Well, you wouldn't think about self-defense if you can't get past the idea that someone might bring a knife to school, right? So you won't even get to the whether it's self-defense or not. But I would imagine, I don't know where Aiden comes from. I ain't gonna lie, like, not my high school, but shit, I live like about 15 minutes from Patterson. All them high schools in Patterson, niggas had all type of what do you call it again? Niggas is bringing guns to school. I'm keeping it a beat. Niggas bringing guns to school, so it's like they had metal detectors and everything. They had that shit like Fort Knox. Eastside High School, they was getting it cracking in there. A stabbing is the least. Now, again, if you don't come from being at schools like that, you might be like, what the fuck? Not saying that this kid did. What I'm trying to say is that we're all coming with our own biases before hearing what the defense is going to be and what the prosecutor is going to say. I'm not sitting here co-signing this dude bringing anything to no school and stabbing nobody. I'm just saying, let's just wait and see what the hell's going to happen. Right? Wait, why I say I don't stand on business? Okay, are y'all saying that Aiden came off racist here? How? He has a POV, but not because his POV doesn't align with wanting Karmelo to be free means he's racist. Let me listen again. Did he say something racist? If he said something racist, I'll talk about it.
Bro, I know we don't talk about politics anymore, shit like that, but that shit really pissed me off what's going on in the world right now, bro, with you know who, bro. Track me shit. Bro, I try to bite my tongue nowadays, bro, but like, I ain't gonna lie, bro. How do I not, bro? I have a platform for a reason, bro. I can say whatever the fuck I want. The fuck you mean who? He killed someone, he's out. Like, how the fuck does that work? Like, bro, he's literally like, what? like, what? What do you mean stop? I'm dead serious.
That's not racist. Like, he's spitting just facts right there. The dude killed someone. Now, I disagree with, why is he out? There's bail for a reason.
He's literally, he stabbed him and he's out. Like, bro, what? Like, what? No, I'm dead. Bro, I'm dead. Bro, I'm not joking, bro. It doesn't make any sense at all. Y'all saying shut the fuck up? I'm dead serious. No, I don't give a fuck if people mad at me, bro. I say what I want, bro. That's what streaming's about. If they gonna ban me for opinion, they gotta ban all the other political streamers on Twitch too. Come on, let's be real here. I'm not disrespecting anybody. I'm just being real. Self-defense. Okay, cool. So you would feel comfortable putting your kid in a school with a kid who has a fucking knife in school?
And by the way, I don't think no one cognizantly makes that decision. Like certain schools, you know, I went to a really, really dope high school. And so I went to Hackensack High School. And that high school was really dope because it was like really evenly mixed. It was like 30% white people. It was 30% black people. It was like 30% Hispanics. And 10% was like Indian and Chinese niggas, okay? But it was pretty much everybody was accounted for. There was not like, oh, you felt like the extreme minority. Now, clearly, because they used to, that high school served a few towns, they bust people in from different like economic, backgrounds, and that kind of showed itself sometimes. But yeah, it was like a really cool high school. Now, granted, here's the thing. You might be going to a school where someone who lives on damn near Section 8 housing is also going to that same school, who probably has beef with like people in his little project neighborhood, and maybe he's bringing a knife to school. Maybe not for you, Mr. I come from this dope ass like background where my parents could provide whatever. But yeah, shit like that happens. I'm not co-signing none of this. I'm just saying it's got to be realistic. Like, if you send your kids to public school, anything can happen, my nigga. I mean, it can happen in private school too, but at least private school, like, it weans out a lot of people that is broke. If anything, I would say some of what Aiden says sounds slightly ignorant to the fact of the reality that maybe he never experienced going to high school. And also ignorant maybe in the idea of, we've seen a lot of people who have been accused of murder bond out. I mean, Yella Beezy is accused of murder for hire. He just bonded out. So people could bond out for murders.
Bro, y'all are so stupid, bro. If y'all get bullied in school, tell your teachers.
Why y'all saying I'm like caping? I'm not caping for this Karmelo Anthony nigga. All I'm saying is I want to get to the trial. I want to hear all the witness reports. Like right now, I'm like, I don't know. I'm like 70% on the side of, it's murder. But 30% is saying, it's self-defense. None of this got to do with race. I don't look at this in terms of race. But we need to know several more details to come to this determination. Because could it be self-defense? It could. Under the statute of a law, right? Now, granted, if we're just speaking tongue-in-cheek here, ain't no fucking way it's self-defense. Nigga, you have a knife, they don't have a knife. Right? But under the law, that does not matter. Because if you argued like how George Zimmerman argued that he was getting punched and he felt he was about to black out, yes, your great and deadly force in retaliation to that is a gun. And the jury subsequently agreed with them, right? All right. Then this dude has gained a lot of money. Wait, why did they say $250,000? No, he didn't. He did $10,000. All right. All right. Let me see if there's any more videos. By the way, shout out to Drill. He's been sending me all these clips. Oh, apparently Kevin Gates responded back to Lebron. Let's go watch that shit. Here we go.
Ain't gotta say no name, say no name. My bad, excuse me. Oh, how y'all doing? You heard me? I'm on my way to have coffee. Coffee spelled backwards is Eve. And before we've had our coffee, we don't give Eve about anything. But I just want to say one thing. The truth hurts, but it heals. And Braun, I love you because you my, and I already know she was just, you ain't gonna let him talk. Man, you had to, but behind closed doors, you, hey, good game. But anyway, look, Long as you being celebrated, I don't care who don't like me. Long as you being celebrated, that's all I care about. Cause you my and I love you. So I don't care if I gotta fall out with somebody I love to get the results. We're gonna get the results. But if anybody need, I'm a life coach and a guru. Y'all 24 hours. Ain't gotta say.
Okay. I agreed with Kevin Gates with him saying, yeah, she probably was like nudging him like, yo, you gotta say something, whatever. But this is why I keep saying I'm gonna blame LeBron. Yo, LeBron, I know Savannah was on your head top for you to respond, but right after you play game 2, and hopefully you win, my brother, and you about to get in the ice bath at the crib, and that's the only piece you get for the day because you got to go deal with Bronny James talking about he not getting no minutes. Bryce over here just throwing up air balls, and then goddamn Savannah ready to come talk about some other Kevin Gates shit. Just remember this, brother. Before you make another 5 posts or another post on Instagram, making a subliminal to Kevin Gates, remember this. You're arguing with the man who said he started a car battery with his bare hands. You know what they said? They said, don't argue with fools because people from afar can't tell who's who. You're arguing with the man who started a car battery with his bare hands. That's all I'm trying to say. That's all I'm trying to say. Okay? All right. Yo, Brittany Renner is having the time of his life. No, she's having the time of her life, yo. Like, I think Brittany was in a deep depressed place, kind of almost giving up on the idea of love and being taken serious. It's what's called the hoe's arc. When they now realize that all the hoeing and all the shit that you've done publicly, it's really tough for a man to stand by you and take you serious. So what ends up happening if you're still an attractive woman, men get with you, gaslight you like they would, or they don't care. They fuck you, and then they dip. What usually ends up happening is that women settle. Like, they'll settle for, you know, a guy way less in their standards just to get that commitment because the guys who they are attracted to, none of them wants to be the guy, unless it's like a basketball player, football players. I don't know what's going on with the football player and basketball players. You got to find a Russell Wilson, you know what I mean? Or like, you know, and not saying that was Ciara. What I'm saying is that someone like a PJ Washington who will just stand there despite what people saying about you. They're like, fuck it, that's my woman. And gladfully for, and by the way, wasn't PJ with Brittany? And he even dipped, right? Gladfully for Brittany, Kevin Gates is one of those where he don't give a fuck about what people say. So there's nobody that could tell him anything different about his woman. And I think what that has done in return, it's given this new side of submissiveness and really willing to walk in the path that her man, Kevin Gates, is leading. And she looks quite happy. She looks quite happy. So I'm kind of happy for her. Right? I'm gonna pause the video when we see her face. Like she looks like she's having a blast. She got the little joint on her head. I heard Fashion Nova selling these now. This is crazy. Good for her. She's having a blast. Good for her. Everybody deserves some happiness, right? By the way, did y'all see this? This is a definition of locking in right here. This is a definition of locking in. Here we go. Let me see if I can find it. So PJ Washington, who was with Drea and previously with Brittany Renner, he has announced that he is broken up with his chick, and I don't know if he's breaking up with her for the playoffs, but as a sports fan, you gotta be happy for that. When a nigga break up with his girl to lock in for the playoffs, that's some good shit. Can I find it? PJ Washington Wait, that was a real thing, right? Unless I made that up. I think he had tweeted like, yo, bruv. Here we go. Is it PJ Washington? No, it's not PJ Washington. My bad. It's the other nigga. Jalen Green. My bad. Jalen Green breaks up. He was Drea. Yeah, I had the wrong nigga. PJ Washington is with, what do you call it again? PJ Washington is with some chick. I don't know. I forgot her name. Okay. Where's the fucking post? So I can't find anything no more. This is real, right? Like, unless I'm tripping. I think he just put up on his story like, yo, bruv, breaking up with this bitch. I'm locking in. Where is it at, chat? Jalen Green, Drea. Or maybe it was fake. I was hoping it was real. I said, leave my girl out of it. What? Is he with her or not? I can't tell, huh? I thought the nigga broke up with her. Yo, Shensia with YG Marley now, bro? Man, Shensia is so fucking bad. Yo, I have a rule against single mothers, but Shensia, one of the very few, I'd be like, you know what? Just call me Uncle Russell. Maybe they didn't break. Where the fuck did I see that at? I thought he posted some shit saying he broke up. Whatever. All right, anyway. Why y'all gaslight me saying Meek Mill tweeted at me? I'm like, oh, here we go again. Yo, as soon as y'all see y'all say it, I'm like, oh, here we go again. I'm like, Meek tweeted again, bro. All right, he didn't though. All right. The Pope has died. I guess Jalen Green didn't break up. How many points did he drop tonight? So the Pope who appeared at the Easter Vatican service and he was calling for a Gaza ceasefire, he's like dead hours later. Nigga looked like he was transitioning right there. Holy.
Di gioia, il popolo di Dio nel mondo.
Evil in this world. Hand raging and to create a is possible without.
Wait, the Pope don't talk at all? Nigga just did 2 waves and that's it?
And peace and unity to the church throughout.
All right, we're going to bring you some breaking news just coming into us now here in Al Jazeera that Pope Francis, the first Latin American leader of the Roman Catholic Church, has died. Just to repeat that, an announcement being made by the Vatican in a video statement saying Pope Francis, who we know has been suffering health challenges, has now passed away. It ends an often turbulent reign that has reigned in the Vatican as he sought to overhaul the institution. Now, we do know that the Pope had appeared briefly to give traditional president, but now mentioned.
Stepped out onto the balcony of St. Peter's Basilica, Pope Francis made history. He was the first Latin American Pope, the first non-European for more than 1,000 years, and his simple words and humble manner immediately won over the crowds.
Buonasera.
As Cardinal Bergoglio, the Archbishop of Buenos Aires, he had witnessed firsthand the hardships faced by the poor, and from the start, the new Pope showed the world the humble side of the papacy. He chose Francis as his papal name, inspired by St. Francis of Assisi, the son of a wealthy merchant who chose instead to live a life of poverty.
What the hell?
Pope Francis led by example and made clear that he expected the same of his clergy.
Hombres que amen la pobreza.
Men of poverty, exterior poverty, simplicity and austerity of life. Men who do not think and behave like princes. Men who are not ambitious.
I think he was a pope of the developing world. He was a pope of the poor. He was a pope who spoke to and from the margins of society, and who was very conscious of the gaps which exist in society and the way...
All right, bro. I'm not Catholic, so I don't want to say nothing that y'all going to get mad at me about.
We do have some... My people, the poor...
Was he around when them popes was touching kids? Or well, it wasn't popes. Them priest niggas was touching kids, though? What's the point of the Pope, man? Again, I'm not Catholic, so y'all niggas, y'all got to put me on game. I'm Baptist.
Father,
they got to put like an age limit on this shit, man. Like, you become a priest and you get to be a pope, right? Like later on or some shit. I'll be tight that you only get to, because the Pope seems like he be having everybody on his dick. You get what I'm saying? He'll be fucked up. Like, by the time you get there, nigga, you could barely stand. You wearing a diaper. You nodding off. What the hell? Man, the only thing I know about the Catholic shit, man, is that, man, them priests, man, I would never let my kid go to no goddamn Catholic church, nigga. You send your son there, they fondling with his balls and shit like that. Them priests ain't up to no good, man. And we ain't hear none of them get disciplined, man. Let us catch like a Baptist reverend playing with your son's balls. Nigga, we beat that nigga. Nigga, we beat him from the pulpit all the way back to all the way to the choir. We gonna beat that nigga everywhere, nigga. We gonna beat that nigga into devotion, nigga. We gonna beat him. We gonna beat him in Bible service. Yeah. I never heard what happened with them niggas who used to touch kids. That's the only thing I know about a Catholic church, honestly. And also, they have really big churches. I'd be like, damn, where they getting all this money from? That's all I know about it. But I do know, like, this is what they taught me as a kid in Jamaica. So, under Christianity, Catholicism is the biggest, what is it called again? I don't know if it's called denomination. You have like 7-Day Adventist, that's like another denomination. You have Pentecostal, you have Baptist, I'm a Baptist, and a bunch of other stuff. But like Catholicism, I think, right? Or like Catholic, it's like the biggest. You know what I'm saying? What the hell does the Pope got to do with Palestine? What the fuck does the Pope got to do with Palestine? No, I don't get it.
Bishop and cardinal for more than 12 years.
Of Jesus, first Pope in nearly celebrating Mass before 3 million people on Rio de Janeiro's famed Copacabana beach. Passionate about the environment, his signature encyclical Laudato Si outlined how global warming hurts the less fortunate around the world. Francis also became the first pope to visit Iraq on March 5th, 2021.
Man, that's some fucked up shit, man. They letting this nigga walk downstairs. The fucking wind coming from the engine about to blow this nigga off of the fucking plane. They got to get like an elevator, man. Like I used to watch Biden, and every time Biden would take a step, I'm like, yo, bro, sometimes you get too old for this shit, man.
On his trip, he met with Iraq's top Ayatollah and...
Oh, shit. Let me stop watching all this shit, because y'all gonna call me racist. Nigga, I just seen this nigga just now. I was like, Bin Laden? I don't know what's what, bro. But that's why I stay out of, like, certain international shit I stay out of. Just now, it was like,
on
I was
his
like,
trip, he met with
what
Iraq.
the fuck? Bin Laden? Then I'm like, oh, my bad. Who? What's his nigga name?
Top Ayatollah and urged peace.
Oh, there are people it's called Ayatollah. I ain't gonna hold you, man. I ain't know what that was, man. I seen that fucking turban. I'm like, holy. Nah, my bad. I ain't racist. I'm black. I can't be racist.
At the age of 84, what the Vatican described as a planned procedure, and later suffering from a small fracture in his knee. During a trip to Canada, the Pope required the help of a wheelchair and walker, telling reporters he could no longer travel like he used to and may possibly retire one day. In late 2022,
Yeah, how much the Pope get paid? That's all I want to know. Let's Google that.
They're magical. I'm telling you, they're magical. There are a few people posting about these.
How
and so I'm
much
like, I need to try
does
these.
the
I need to get
Pope
some. I need to get
get
some heifers.
paid? You got a pocket watch. What? You don't get a salary? Huh? There's no salary, but upon death, you get a bunch of gold. Nigga, how that work? Rigor mortis kicking in, they giving you the gold now? What the hell? Oh, it's placing a coffin? Oh, hell no. They think you could take the riches with you. Hell nah. Got to give it to a nigga while he can run it up. How much he earn a year? What the fuck? Unlike previous popes, he renounced any form of wages. While popes traditionally receive a salary, reports indicate the wage is $32,000 a month. I need more than that. Ain't the Pope the nigga who they be kissing like his corns and bunions to heal them? I always thought that was nasty. There's a lot of kissing shit going on. And then y'all get mad like y'all be wondering why they start fucking the kids. There's too much kissing going on in here, man. Too much.
His predecessor, Pope Benedict, died, marking the end of an unprecedented 9-year-long arrangement of two popes living side by side in the Vatican gardens. Pope Francis presided over Benedict's funeral and said losing Benedict felt like he had lost a dad. Francis continued to battle opposition as he worked to make the Catholic Church more inclusive. He said he welcomed the criticism because it meant there was freedom to speak. His priestly motto had always been a Latin phrase that recognizes God's mercy and sovereignty, a sentiment that guided his ministry and will now be his legacy. In New York, Lauren Green, Fox News.
All right, man. Rest in peace, brother. Does the Pope get any hoes? Let me see. Can the Pope have sex? What? Oh, nah, these are special men. I ain't gonna hold you. Nigga, I'll be fucking hoes from... I thought chat, I don't know nothing about that type of religion. As I said, I'm Baptist. I thought the popes got all the nuns they could get. Ain't nuns that Catholic shit too? None. I thought the Pope gets to I thought the popes was like getting you know what I mean? Like, you got like two nuns going crazy. Like, yo, hold on, man. Let me get a third one in here. Come on over here, man. I'm the Pope, motherfucker. Come in. I thought he was running orgies with them joints. What? You can't even fuck? Nigga, I think I'd pass away from semen backup. Like, yo, this they do the autopsy. They'd be like, man, this nigga has so much semen. This shit was like plaque. What the hell? Oh, they said, yeah. Nun and pope or priest. Yeah. Damn, the popes can't fuck? Wait, could the priest fuck? Well, clearly they're fucking because they were trying to fuck the kids, right? Can the priest have sex? What? Priests aren't supposed to. Wait, are they allowed to be married? Nah, this shit sounds trash. How do you become a priest? How do you become a priest? Nah, this is garbage. What the hell? Just go to school. What the? Get a bachelor degree? Oh, hold on. I'm not getting a bachelor degree to not fuck. Nah, this is crazy. Hold on. To become a Catholic priest, a man, yo, you know everybody be on some woke shit like, yeah, no, men and women are alike until it comes to religion. They be like, yo, listen, man, y'all bitches shut the fuck up and listen to men. And as long as the religion says that, nobody cares. You know what I mean? But if you say you misogynistic, yo, they be like, yo, listen, it don't say a woman could become a priest. It says a nigga. A man typically has to complete a bachelor degree, followed by seminary training and ordination. It involves several stages, including discernment, application. It must be horny hours. I don't know why I'm thinking. Like, everything I'm just thinking is on some, are they fucking? What's going on? Who's fucking? Because I just read this as seminal education. I'm like, what the fuck? Don't tell me that's how they fuck the kitten. Anyway. And eventually ordination. Okay, what are these things? A man should discern if he has to call a priesthood through prior. This, okay, whatever. He got to go to school. He must be ordained as a deacon. Okay. It's a sacramental act signifying a man is called to ministry within the church. Life as a priest. Man, how much money they be getting, man? Follow that, man. Let me see. How much money a priest make? ZipRecruiter? What the hell? In New Jersey, an average salary is $35K? Man, my Baptist minister was making like $400, $500K. That nigga had the big boy Benz. I ain't gonna lie. I could see why my brothers end up being like a reverend in a Baptist church. You gotta smash a couple of the deacons. Is it called deacons? Like the female deacons, clearly, because we're not into the Batiman thing, right? So you got every reverend I know was smashing maybe like the little bookkeeper chick, couple of the female deacons. Always was balling and stunting, had the biggest car in the parking lot. I ain't gonna lie, the Baptist church be lit. And then every choir always had a gay nigga leading it. And every time they talked about, they be in church, gay is a sin. The gay nigga who be leading the choir, he be like, I know that's right. We looking at him like, nigga, you're gay. Yo, the Baptist church is like a movie. You could do a whole goddamn sitcom on the Baptist church, bro. There's all type of shit going on there. You got the bum ass niggas who go to Bible study because they're trying to bag bitches. Facts. You got a nigga who's cheating on his wife that because they'll have two different Bible studies. The Bible studies for like the kids and the one for the adults. They're acting like, oh no, I just got to teach Bible study. Man, they in the church fucking. The preacher's daughter, always a hoe. Always a hoe. There's never been a reverend's daughter that's not a hoe. Always. They just come out the womb. Daddy, I'm a hoe. Like, it's complete hoe instantly. As soon as they put that little collar on, their daughter is a fucking hoe. I remember when I found out that our Sunday school teachers, because usually with Sunday school, I never went to like church like that over here. I went in Jamaica. So you go early for Sunday school, and then after Sunday school, the service starts. Man, the teachers was getting it in between them, man. Like, there's a lot of fuck shit that was going on in the church still. I ain't gonna hold you. There's a lot of shit that was going on in that damn church. But it was all good. Everybody know that the reverend cheating on his wife, but nobody say nothing. There's always a few Batimans just like they trying to have a they trying to have one of these moments right here. The whole time you like, do he know we be reading verses that be violating him? There's always a nigga like this in church, bro.
Whatever it is you need God to do, he just told you it's done.
And they always told me, yo, we gonna find him a nice young lady. He like, dick. What are you talking about? Everybody in the church know it too.
Right now. What did you come here for? What did you come down here for? Tell me. To get delivered more. To get delivered. Do you believe that the Lord tonight...
Oh, and whoever be on the organ, man, they be going crazy. That's really the true star. The nigga who be on the organ or the piano, oh, man.
Has set you free. Yes, sir.
Yeah, you gotta...
Turn around and tell those people. Tell them. I'm not gay no more. I am delivered. I don't like men no more. I like women.
Yo.
Women. I said women. I'm not gay. I would not date a man.
Yo, you know what's so crazy? And then there's always one. Y'all ever go to Baptist church? Y'all gotta come. Yo, chat. I can't live stream in church. I love God too much. But y'all gotta come to church with me one time. There's always that one deacon or whatever, sister so-and-so. She catch the Holy Ghost 3 times a service. You're like, how come God just keep jumping into her but nobody else? Hallelujah! Oh, praise be to God! You're like, how come? Because that's what they told me. They said the person you're catching the Holy Spirit. How come they keep catching it? How come this one chick always catch the?
I would not carry a purse. I would not put on makeup. I will love a woman. Now listen,
I love this shit.
Y'all praise God with him. Hold on, wait a minute.
That's my favorite part. I love when it's time to ad-lib now. Get on the drums. Yeah, I used to play piano. My brother used to play drums. It's kind of how I got into music.
Now either you gonna believe this stuff or you ought to stop preaching it. If you can't praise God with him, you're an unbeliever. Now somebody believe God with him.
This is my favorite part. Let's go. Then I got to get the longer version. We got to get the longer version. I like the dancing. I like the dancing part.
Do you believe conciliation?
This where young boy got the gritty from. Word 2. Them church outfits be looking. There's always like one lady that in there got a big ass and could dress like a motherfucker. I gotta go to church, bro. Yeah, that's why I missed today. I ain't do nothing today, bro. I should have went to church on Easter Sunday. Damn. Well, I guess we're playing church, right?
Hallelujah. God, help him, Lord. Help him, Lord. Help him. hands with him and tell him, you can do it in the name of Jesus. That's right.
Oh. I said, there's a nigga named Marvin Sapp. Yeah, I seen this shit.
Close the doors for me for a quick moment.
This nigga turned the sermon into a kidnapping. I like this. Lock that motherfucking door right there. Lock the door. Deacon, lock that motherfucking door right there. Lock the door. If y'all don't come up off y'all tithes and offering, we need 40 bands. The Lord!
I want everybody to remain standing quickly. How many of y'all really received something from the word of the Lord tonight? Listen, when you study scripture, you will notice that whenever God did something in the lives of the patriarchs of old, the patriarchs would pause, they would set up an altar, and they would offer up sacrifice. I asked each and every one of you how many of y'all received something from the word of the Lord. Everyone in this place said these words, I did. Because of your acknowledgement of what God did
10%, fools.
in word, there is an obligation that is attached to that acknowledgement.
This is smoothest robbery.
In biblical days, they offered livestock, grain. That was a type of currency.
Oh, this guy's smooth.
Note if you will, I did not say money. I said currency. And this is what God is saying for at least 1,000 of you in the building. And this is simple.
Damn, it's a big ass church.
I'm
like
not
that.
going to challenge you the way Bishop did. But I know that there's 1,000 individuals under the sound of my voice that can do what I'm about to challenge you all to do. This is simple. 1,000 people giving what I'm about to challenge will be $20,000. 1,000 people giving what I'm about to challenge you all to do will be $20,000. Now, for those of us who are on the dais, I'm taking you higher, so put it back. I'm a strong believer that leaders lead not only in time, not only in talent, but also in treasure. Leaders lead in time, talent, and treasure. I was taught a long time ago that it costs to sit up here. There's 1,000 of you. I said close them doors. Ushers, close the doors. Close the doors. Close
Lock
the
them!
doors. We all gonna lead again.
Nah, this ain't a Baptist church. Like I like what my when my preachers preach, hey the Lord! And like, I love that type of that keep me up because I be sleeping in church. So when they start talking like that, I'm like, oh, like some Bishop T. No, I don't know about Bishop T.D. Jakes. Is he a Baptist? I only fuck with Baptists. Bishop T.D. Jakes Church. I need a Baptist church. Let's see, what church he got? Is it a Baptist church or no? Man, I only rock with Baptist church. I ain't gonna lie, man. My uncle's a pastor.
Y'all ain't going no place but to the restaurant. There's 1,000 of you tonight, and those that are watching, it's 1,000 that's watching online. This is a small seed. If I get 1,000 online to give this, if I get 1,000 in the sanctuary to
Yo, chat, I'm gonna start doing that shit. Yo, lock your bedroom door right now. Lock that fucking bedroom door. You're not getting out. Lock the bedroom door. If we don't get, let me see how many people we got up in here. That's a good strategy. We got 6,500 people on both channels. If we can't get 6,500, If everybody get $10, that's 60,000. If we can't get 60,000, now these niggas is tweaking, bro.
To give this, that's $40,000 tonight. Now, everyone up here,
Yo, this nigga got to be the big U of ministers, bro. Like, yo, this nigga on this big U wave. I respect it still, though.
we've all sold and seeded, but I need everyone standing up here with us, with me, to plant a seed of $100.
Oh,
because
shit.
again, it costs to sit up here. Y'all start moving. Y'all can bring it right now. Come. Even
if snap.
You're giving tangibly, just put your hand on the, take your phone and stick it on the.
What? They got the tap? Just tap the phone? Nah, this fire.
On the bucket.
Oh, nah, this nigga slick. He act like he taking out his money too. You know what he gonna do? He gonna put it in there, and then he gonna tell like the little clerk, like, make sure you get my $300 back out of that motherfucker, all right? Nah, this is lit.
Shh. Giving is worship.
Oh, shit.
Giving is worship. 1,000 people online need to give $20. This is easy, saints. This is an easy miracle. We should be able to raise $40,000 tonight just from y'all giving. I'm about to go get in my truck. I'm going to my hotel. I got me some fruit. I'm doing fruit now.
Oh, I thought you were going to say I got some pussy waiting for me. I thought, yo, oh, nah. Yo, nah, this thing on this big shit. Yo, chat, they got the PayPal logo up on the projector, bruv. Yo, imagine going to church, you trying to see God, you see the PayPal logo. Is this Cash App? What is this?
Fruit and water. I'm trying to. Look at us. Yeah. Now, after you come up here, you can open the doors. Y'all can walk out the door after you come up here.
Oh, y'all can finally leave.
But make sure you come this way before you go out the door. That's it. Look at God. Look at what God has done. Hallelujah.
Yo, this nigga created his own grid program, nigga. This is a grid segment of the of praising the Lord.
You all right, Lauren?
Good morning, guys.
1,000 of you, I said close them doors.
You know, looking at the video, maybe I was a little more assertive than I should have been, and I can apologize for that. But number one, the $40,000, if it was $40,000 that was raised.
Oh, let me see.
To scandal. Buckle up because the ride is anything but smooth. Ushers, close the doors. It's time for the RRG choir to show off their pipes.
Pause.
Me. January 28th, 19 status as a spirit.
Jim Carlin questions that notion.
The way it sounds as if he doesn't even know her, and I don't believe that for a minute.
Businesses never done here, nor salvation became a trend.
You know what I'm trying to be? Interview Pastor Jet. This nigga right here.
How are you, sir? We'd just like to ask you about why you don't want to fly commercial. Why have you said that you won't fly commercial? You said that it's like getting into a tube with a bunch of demons.
No, wait, no way he said that. No way he said that. Nigga say don't want to fly commercial because it's like getting in a tube with a bunch of demons. My man, chat. I know y'all want a better stream than this. I'm just laughing. I'm just having a good time as long as I can stay up, bro. This is too much fuckery. Hold on.
You think that?
No, listen to me just singing. Not the people. The main reason is because of the need. If I flew commercial, I'd have to stop 65% of what I'm doing. That's really the main.
Isn't it true that you want to fly commercial so that you can fly in luxury? How much money did you pay for Tyler Perry's Gulfstream jet, for example?
Well, for example, that's really none of your business.
Oh,
but,
shit.
Isn't it the business of your donors?
Listen, I paid
About to choke her out.
You kind of caught me off guard here, okay?
You know what he wanted to do right here? Trust me. He wanted to do this. He wanted to do this shit right here.
Look, this is not what I got in Thailand and Thailand. I rip and I rhyme. I rhyme and I rip. This is the way that Thailand spits. You trying to get some of this hot fire?
You could either make this song or not make this song.
You're too close, man.
That's what that nigga want to do. You can tell how he looking at her, bruh. Look. He want to choke the shit out of her.
Certainly. Well, if you'd like to come out here, I'd like to give you a chance to catch your breath and have a conversation. We don't want to catch you off guard.
I love Inside Edition. You got to get this now. Hey, you listening to me? My wife thinks Inside Edition is, oh, yeah. Now, thank you, Lord. Help me. Let me pray this thing.
Well, let me just ask you a really simple question. A lot of people think it's unbecoming for a preacher to live a life of luxury and to fly around in private jets. What's your response to that?
Very simple.
This is why the Pope don't be winning. The Pope not getting no pussy. Told me they not getting no salary, really. They can't spend a bag. They can't have no bust down on. These pastors, they be having it like, yo, Joel Osteen, I know he getting it.
It takes a lot of money to do what we do. We have brought over 100, let's see, the latest figures just came out, 122 million people to the Lord Jesus Christ. Let me give you another example. Last May, I was scheduled for powers.
Can you explain what you meant by that? Do you ever use your private jets to go visit your vacation homes, for example?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Again, getting back to the comment, you said that you don't like to fly commercial because you don't want to get into a tube with a bunch of demons. Do you really believe that human beings are demons?
No, I do not. And don't you ever say I did.
Wait, what the fuck?
Do not. And don't you ever say I did. We wrestle not with flesh and blood, but principalities and powers.
Can you explain what you meant by that term then? Just explain, because it's really simple. You said you didn't want to get into a tube with a bunch of demons. What did you mean?
Well, let me ask you.
Do you think that people that fly commercial are demons?
Yo, I don't know why. I was just thinking about. I'm thinking about different like Chappelle Show references. This is all that's coming to mind, Chad.
Welcome to the Chinatown. Fingers, say to the bang bang.
Wasn't there like a quote from Chappelle Show where it'd be like, yo, does Rick James have to slap a bitch? I could tell this nigga want to slap the shit out of this woman, bro.
Amen.
If you give me a chance to talk, sweetheart, I'll explain this to you. But it's a biblical thing. It's a spiritual thing. It doesn't have anything to do with people. People, I love people. Jesus loves people. But people get pushed in alcohol. Do you think that's a good place for a preacher to be and prepare to go preach to a lot of people? When somebody in there is dragging some woman down an aisle, it made me so mad to see that on television. I wanted to punch the guy out myself. I can't be doing that while I'm getting ready to preach.
So you just don't like to be around the sinful people or the hurtful people. Is that what you're saying?
Not the people, baby. Not the people. Back during the days that we couldn't do anything else, we had to travel commercial.
Nah, this shit's hilarious. That shit is hilarious. All right, anyway. Yo, how the hell was a nigga named Creflo Dollar? That's hilarious. Creflo Dollar.
by the millions, all the while.
In order for me to do what I've been called to do, the airlines, they don't fly my schedule.
The private jet has fueled much of the controversy about Creflo Dollar.
Good morning. This satellite churches in at least a dozen states and hundreds of thousands of online followers.
I am the resurrection.
Dollar owns this multi-million-dollar mansion and condo. In March, his website asked the...
He need a cheap airplane. He need the best.
But Dollar later took down the video after the jet request was criticized. Former member Shamora Barnard was disgusted.
What's Pastor
critics during a sermon?
Yeah, anyway, whatever. Them dudes make a lot of money, though. All right, cool. What am I missing in hip-hop? Anything in hip-hop that's interesting? Okay, we kind of looked at that already. Oh, did y'all see Justin Bieber? Man, they got Justin Bieber and Coachella looking like he either off that Kodak Black nigga, or he over here getting a big U treatment, man. Straight extortion, bro. Let me see if I can find the clip. There's a whole full thing about him at Coachella. I'll just search it. And it's not just a small part y'all may have saw. So this is the part that everybody has seen. Okay. But there's other videos too. He's with a fan? Hell nah, this look like a nigga extorting him. Nigga giving that big U treatment. Yeah, they say he was tweaking the whole time. Look at this. Nigga got scoliosis or some shit? I don't know if these are just bad videos, but look like Bieber is going through some shit. Yeah, those videos don't look too good. But maybe he's fine. There's him going in. Maybe he's fine. Did he perform at Coachella? Let me try to get the goddamn week 2 lineup. Bieber's, he's kind of been outside of this limelight. Every time I see him in some paparazzi videos, but he's like really upset at the paparazzi for like filming him. We haven't seen him do as much music. He's kind of almost damn near semi-retired. He still does shows, but he's kind of looking like he's in a rut, or, we had heard some health concerns. Or maybe he's just kind of burnt out because he's been doing this shit since he was a kid. Oh, he wasn't on the lineup at all. He just showed up to watch? Justin Bieber Coachella. That don't make no fucking sense.
Just me. Listen, we gotta talk. Look how beautiful this is.
Okay. Who's a new dad? They're like Sexy Red felt bad because a lot of past video. You know where this video is even how much of a sure. Justin Bieber is a star and
yeah, then we saw him with Sexy Red. I don't know, maybe we're just making too much of it, man. Seems like he's just enjoying his life, right? I still can't forget when they gave that nigga the Big U treatment.
Stupid, I'm not even
Justin Bieber in the hood, he in the trenches with the kid, chemo.
Justin Bieber.
On the side.
That's dope, watching this nigga grow up.
Hey,
What's the deal, man?
What up, bro?
We're gonna go play some
Justin
sports.
Bieber, man.
What's going on, man?
What's up, man?
Nice to meet you.
You ain't trying to get balled up? I want to play some ball.
Right here, man. Justin Bieber in the hood, cuz. White boy. Sing that shit.
Holding back the faces I would make. I'm a fan of you're the rock star, making it hard on me. Visualize a monster, cause you're too bad for me. Shot that arrow, I'm hit. I need you right near me. I try to maintain, so don't mind.
I know you gotta be thinking, how the fuck did my GPS get me over here?
Turn away, yeah. Okay. 5, 6,
I'll shoot
7,
my little homie.
8.
It's the my shoes, man.
You 20 like everybody else.
Yo, they said this is Justin Bieber's put on and his DP all in one, bro.
5, 6,
I'll shoot
7,
my little homie.
8.
It's the my shoes, man.
You 20 like everybody else. I'll shoot on at the 12. Push it on them,
15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21.
Oh, this nigga doing clap push-ups. Yo, he's looking like, can I leave now, guys? Can I please leave? That's probably what he was saying at Diddy's house, huh?
All right.
Oh, you gonna be that you stupid.
What the fuck?
You see him though?
Okay. Bieber Valley really tapped in with the streets, man. I can't even knock it. Okay. Okay, all right. Shout out to my man B. Ravelli, man. I don't care. Even if some people are going to blame it on drugs, I'm going to blame everything. Just sounds better to me to blame it on the Big U extortion RICO. So I'm going to think he was getting extorted for that reaction. A nigga constantly keeping his hand around his neck. I don't think he's doing that shit willingly, bro. Or, yeah, look. The nigga's just holding on to his hand and shit. Like, nah. Something ain't right about that, bro. Something ain't right about that. Yo, I ain't gonna lie to you. By the way, shout out to Sexy Red, man. She's been turning that goddamn 5 minutes of fame into, like, the longest 15 minutes ever, man. Every time I think she done, she come out with another little catchy one. Hoochie coochie. Okay, all right. All right, I got a request to watch a documentary. Let me see. Supposedly this is good. All right, here we go. Why Kendrick never respected J. Cole. All right, we can finally get some clarity. Hopefully
both
this is good.
rising leaders of conscious hip-hop, both masters of...
All right, to listen to this boring ass shit, well, I don't think the video gonna be boring, but both of these niggas... This is snooze fest. I got to go get some. Let me get a chaser for my liquor.
Storytelling, and both constantly mentioned when debating the best in the game, Kendrick Lamar and J. Cole are undeniably two of the most influential and celebrated rappers of this generation. On the surface, there's always been mutual respect, with Cole never hesitating to praise Kendrick, often calling him one of the greatest. But Kendrick, well, that's a different story. In fact, his actions and even his lyrics suggest otherwise. From subtle jabs in his verses to being the rumored reason their long-awaited collab album never materialized, Kendrick consistently refused to acknowledge Cole as an equal, leaving an unspoken tension lingering for years. But why? What makes Kendrick's stance on Cole so different from how Cole sees Kendrick? Well, to understand that, we need to rewind the clock and trace their journeys from the beginning. So sit back and join us on this journey. This is going to be an interesting one. Let's start with Kendrick's upbringing. Kendrick's parents grew up near Chicago's notorious O Block, with his father being a member of the Gangster Disciples, but his mother refused to let that life dictate their future, so she gave him an ultimatum: her or the streets. Luckily for her, he chose her, and they left Chicago behind, relocating to California in search of something better. Unfortunately, they landed in one of the most dangerous areas in America, and thus, Kendrick Lamar Duckworth was born on June 7th, 1987 in Compton, California. Named after Eddie Kendricks of The Temptations, music was always in the background of his life, but so was gang culture. His father still had street ties, and growing up in Compton shaped his perspective from an early age. From the age of 5, Kendrick was already being exposed to gang culture, but his parents were extremely supportive of him. They emphasized education, and compared to his friends, Kendrick always had 2 parental figures in his life guiding the way for him.
It's a Compton thing. It's a gangster Compton thing.
Kendrick even recalled the first time he saw someone die, saying, "It was outside my apartment unit. A guy was out there serving his narcotics and somebody rolled up with a shotgun and blew his chest out. Admittedly, it did something to me right then. It let me know that this is not only something that I'm looking at, but it's something that maybe I have to get used to." This dramatically changed him, stripping away his innocence from a young age. And as he grabbed...
Are we going to skip to... I don't need to know about this nigga background. Playback speed, 1.25. Why they hate each other or never respected. Here we go.
Settling on J. Cole. Them together at the XXL freshman cover shoot, an iconic moment filled with rising stars like Nipsey Hussle, Wiz Khalifa, Big Sean, J. Cole, and J-Rock. Since J-Rock was signed to TDE, Kendrick tagged along to the shoot, even though he hadn't made the cover himself. Kendrick later reflected on that moment in The Heart Part 1, rapping,
what?
"I was at the XXL just trying to excel."
Oh, I never knew that. All right, hold on.
5 would dictate his future, and this will all come into play later on in the video. In fact, this difference in mentality was perfectly captured in his interview with Nardwuar, where he downplayed the weight of it all, saying,
"Why should people care about J. Cole? Why should people care?"
They don't have to care about me. They don't. They should. I'm not gonna say they should. If you do, I appreciate it. You know what I mean? If you like the music, that's what matters. But you know, I live a real life outside of this. You know what I mean? I do real things in real life. You don't have to care. And it's not that. None of this is that serious, me or otherwise. You don't have to care about me.
By the time Kendrick Lamar and J. Cole first crossed paths, their journeys in rap couldn't have been more different. In 2010, fate brought them together at the XXL freshman cover shoot, an iconic moment filled with rising stars like Nipsey Hussle, Wiz Khalifa, Big Sean, J. Cole, and J-Rock. Since J-Rock was signed to TDE, Kendrick tagged along to the shoot, even though he hadn't made the cover himself. Kendrick later reflected on that moment in The Heart Part 1, rapping, "I was at the XXL just trying to excel, networking, meanwhile my stomach turning, wanted to be a part of it, cater it to my audience. J. Cole running late, if he don't show up, I think I could take his place." Ladies started laughing, no pun intended, I ain't being sarcastic. This is where things get interesting, because according to longtime rap journalist Rob Markman, who was the XXL editor at the time, he confirmed that Kendrick wasn't just joking, he was dead serious. Even before Kendrick and Cole had officially met, Kendrick was already gunning for a spot, literally. He had so much confidence in himself that he was ready to step into Cole's place right then and there. That kind of competitive drive was admirable, but it also signals something bigger. Kendrick saw Cole as a rival before they had even spoken. But first, after years of making YouTube videos, there's a lot that goes on behind the scenes to create what recently we did create a step to a video with translate my voice to function and in video, plus you can use this once again. Only this time, it was at a release party for Inglewood rap duo's UNI album, A Love Supreme 2.0. It was here that Kendrick took the mic and delivered an insane freestyle, rapping a cappella for 3 straight minutes.
See, I'm the author of the author, the father of the Austin Power Vulture who can bust like a charter wide partner. I know a jealous serpent is a burden to my life, but still I carry on like luggage in a flight.
Kendrick's performance left an impression on everyone in the room, including Cole. And that same night, Cole performed 2 of his biggest songs, Head Buster and A Star Is Born, the latter being a collaboration with Jay-Z. In the background, you can see a young Kendrick Lamar rapping along to every single word of Jay-Z and J. Cole's A Star Is Born. Even at this early stage, their paths were beginning to intertwine, drawing unconscious comparisons between the two. Cole had a laid-back, introspective style, while Kendrick's music was intense and extremely reflective, both conscious, but coming from different angles. That night, Kendrick wasted no time in making a move. He emailed Cole 2 songs, P and Patron and Cut You Off, both of which immediately caught Cole's attention. In a later interview, Cole revealed, "Later that night, Kendrick emailed me 2 songs. I was like, yo, I'm messing with this guy. I need to sign this guy." From there, I felt compelled to always give him any jewels I could. He even helped put Dr. Dre on him. However, by the time Cole made his offer, Kendrick was already locked in with TDE. Still, that didn't stop Cole from supporting him. As both a rapper and producer, Cole started sending Kendrick beats, helping him refine his sound. Considering Cole already had been signed personally by Jay-Z and got numerous co-signs in the industry, this was a big look for Kendrick. Over the next few years, their bonds grew stronger. First as collaborators, then as friends. But that competitive edge that fueled their first meeting never really faded.
Just wrapped up some studio. We got some coming secretly. J. Cole, Kendrick Lamar. Secretly, yeah, all on this blank disc right here. Oh! Wait, you got 2 just in case? Nah, this is mother. Oh, okay. This is, you know what that is. Top secret.
As their collaborations continued, rumors of a full-length joint project between Cole and Kendrick started gaining traction. The first real hint came in 2010 when Kendrick mentioned it in an interview with Hard Knock TV. During the interview, he even played a J. Cole produced track, which was his first time publicly acknowledging the project. At this point, Kendrick was clearly on good terms with Cole, referencing how much they were working together. Then in 2011, during the rollout for Section 80, Kendrick further fueled speculation by playing a never-before-heard track featuring a J. Cole verse. The song, Temptations, was the first of many unreleased tracks that would keep fans convinced this collab project was real. Shortly after, Kendrick doubled down in a XXL interview, confirming that the project was not just an idea, but was actively in the works. By 2012, both Kendrick and Cole were openly confirming that the album was happening. And in May of that year, Cole sat down with Bootleg Kev and revealed that the project was not just a mixtape, it was a full album. Later that same year, Cole gave another interview that took a slightly different tone. While still hyping up the project, he also hinted at the competitive nature of their relationship. He specifically referenced Temptations, admitting that after hearing Kendrick's verse, he felt like he had to rewrite his own.
And another one I got is this song we got now called Temptations. But when I gave him the beat, it already had my verse on it. I was like, yo, I got this crazy beat with an ill verse on it, you know what I'm saying? Just do it. Yo, when I tell you, you should never give it like Kendrick Lamar home court advantage. That was the first one first verse anybody ever spit on my song. And I was like, you little like, don't make me I wanted to change my verse.
At this stage, there was no direct tension. Cole wasn't worried about Kendrick dissing him, but he was definitely feeling the pressure. Getting outshined on your own song is not a great feeling, and the fact that Cole even considered rewriting his verse speaks volumes. What this moment reveals is that Kendrick's competitive drive was already in full effect. No matter how friendly they were, he was focused on proving he was the best, and this underlying tension would only grow over time. What started as a friendly rivalry, one that sharpened both of their pens, would slowly evolve into something more complicated. And the collaborative album, which fans have been anticipating for years, would never materialize. Now, if you let some fans tell it, this was due to Kendrick shifting priorities as an artist. After all, if he was willing to forego a collaborative project with his own label mates in the form of a Black Hippie album, then turning down Cole wouldn't exactly be out the picture. However, according to Cole, it was their respective schedules that prevented them from ever seeing it through. As time went on, the quiet but undeniable friction between J. Cole and Kendrick would start to grow, and a major turning point in the relationship would happen in 2013. Hip-hop has always been built on competition. MCs have been battling each other since the genre's inception. So naturally, when two lyrical rappers from opposite coasts start gaining traction around the same time, comparisons were bound to happen. But after Temptations, the tension between J. Cole and Kendrick started to feel more real. That all came to a head in 2013, when Kendrick dropped what would become one of the most infamous verses in modern hip-hop history on Big Sean's Control. I'm usually homeboys with the same guys I'm rhyming with, but this is hip-hop and these guys know what time it is. And that goes for Jermaine Cole, Pusha T, Meek Mill, A$AP Rocky, Drake, Big Sean, Tyler, and Mac Miller. I got love for you all, but I'm trying to murder you guys. Trying to make sure your core fans never heard of you guys. They don't want to hear not one more noun or verb from you guys. Now, this verse has been dissected into oblivion. Kendrick was making a statement. He wanted to push the culture forward and force rappers to step up their game. The verse name-dropped some of the biggest names in rap, calling them out in a way that was meant to spark competition. But for Drake and Cole, it cut a little deeper. As we all know by now, Drake responded by leaning into his more sensitive side and made it clear he was not a fan. Cole, on the other hand, also had a reaction to the verse, but instead of airing it out in an interview, he went straight to Kendrick. He called him up, wanting to know where they stood after Kendrick had talked about a joint album just the year before.
I'm gonna say this.
Did you feel a kind of way?
I didn't even really hear the line.
Right.
I heard the loudness of the people.
Right.
Ooh,
hype.
ooh. I had to have a conversation with him. You know what I mean?
What was the conversation, man?
It was just, I mean, not even to dive into details. I just had to find out for myself. Like, yo, what?
You came at me, dog?
What's that? Please tell me what is that? I gotta know. And when I got the answer, it really, and then went back and heard the verse, like months later, I had to really check myself like, wow.
What was the answer?
The last person I thought would even feel away is you know what I mean? Like,
right.
Cole was genuinely surprised. The two had been talking about collaborating for years at this point, but when they spoke, Kendrick reassured him that it was just rap, nothing personal. And instead of being discouraged, Cole took it as motivation. That same year, J. Cole proved his loyalty when he defended Kendrick at a party after the verse dropped. Diddy, who was reportedly offended by Kendrick claiming that he was the king in New York, tried to pour a drink on Kendrick's head, only for Cole to step in. Things got heated, and while Cole and Diddy eventually squashed the issue, it was a clear sign that Cole still had respect for Kendrick, even after the public call-out. But the energy wasn't mutual. While Cole still saw Kendrick as a friend, Kendrick was moving differently. The dynamic between them had officially shifted. What had once been a healthy, competitive friendship quietly turned into something else, a secret war between two of the biggest rappers in the world. And for nearly 9 years, that war would remain hidden beneath the surface. J. Cole had finally grasped the competitive nature of his relationship with Kendrick Lamar, and he was ready to fire back. His response came on the remix of Justin Timberlake's TKO, where he wasted no time addressing Kendrick's Control verse head on. That long verse from a song called Control was on. The room got nearer. The tune got clearer. That was when I seen that ish playing on your phone. Girl, what is that? A ringtone? Damn, not you too. Man, that hype done got you too. Everybody and their mama gassed. Even my mama asked what I'ma do. Decisions. In case this is war, then I load up on all ammunition. If that guy wants problems, my trigger's on auto. I'll make sure that nobody misses him. Cole made it clear. He felt blindsided by Kendrick's verse, and he wasn't amused by the way Control had been hyped up to legendary status. He downplayed its impact, calling it overblown and criticizing the industry's obsession with the moment. Then he sent a direct message. If Kendrick wanted war, he was ready to take him out completely. Despite the tension, the two still maintained a front of mutual respect, releasing their Black Friday tracks in 2015 where they rapped over each other's beats. Cole rapped over All Right and Kendrick took Tale of Two Cities. With this, fans still clung to the hope that their long-rumored joint project was happening. But beneath the surface, the competitive friction between them was becoming more apparent. Fans started comparing the two MCs, saying Kendrick smoked Cole with his rendition of Cole's song on Reddit. While both rappers continued to coexist at the top, Kendrick began to pull ahead in the public eye. J. Cole had 2014 Forest Hills Drive, but Kendrick's To Pimp a Butterfly was a cultural moment, sweeping award shows and cementing his reputation as hip-hop's leading lyricist. Kendrick dominated the BET Awards, winning Best New Artist, Best Male Hip-Hop Artist, Best Collaboration and Lyricist of the Year, and Album of the Year, among others. Then came the MTV Hottest MCs list, one of the most influential rap rankings at the time. Kendrick took number 1, while Cole wasn't even mentioned. By 2017, the gap widened even further. Kendrick released Damn, winning multiple Grammys and more notably a Pulitzer Prize, an achievement unheard of in rap. Meanwhile, Cole had been consistently snubbed at the Grammys, not winning his first until years later. The conversation was shifting fast. Kendrick was being labeled as the best lyricist of the era, while Cole, despite his success, was often seen as second tier in comparison. Then, Kendrick disappeared. After Damn, he largely withdrew from the spotlight, reappearing only to curate the Black Panther soundtrack and support his cousin and protege Baby Keem on tracks like Range Brothers and Family Ties. While Kendrick was away, Cole stepped up, filling the void with a relentless run of music. It's from here that Cole's business acumen was also starting to shine. His label, Dreamville, was growing. signing talents like JID, Boz, and EarthGang. He launched Dreamville Fest in 2018, drawing over 100,000 attendees, and proving that he could operate beyond just his music. While Kendrick was stacking awards, Cole was building an empire by quietly positioning himself as a label boss, businessman, and artistic leader. But despite his success, the comparisons to Kendrick never faded. Between 2018 and 2019, Cole dominated the feature game, appearing on tracks with Boz on Tribe, 21 Savage on A Lot, and JID on Off D's, among many others. With 28 features in just 2 years, fans started calling him one of the best guest verse artists of the era, elevating nearly every song he touched. By 2020, Cole laid out his career roadmap, revealing his plan for his final releases. He would finish his feature run, drop Revenge of the Dreamers 3, release The Off-Season, follow it with It's a Boy, and eventually drop his long-rumored album, The Fall Off. But as his career progressed, he also started sending subliminal shots at Kendrick and subtly addressing the constant comparisons. One of the clearest examples came on Heaven's EP, where he openly acknowledged being ranked below Kendrick and Drake, but then challenged that perception. Some people say that I'm running third. They threw the bronze at me, behind Drake and Dot. Yeah, them guys are superstars to me. But then he flipped it. The tale's official. The best guy's breathing. I just failed to hit you. You couldn't tell because you fell for the bells and whistles. Here, Cole suggests that hype, marketing, and theatrics, things that Kendrick and Drake excel at, are the only reasons people still rank him below them. He believes that if rap were judged purely on skill, he would be at the top. Then in 2022, Kendrick returned with Mr. Morale and the Big Stepper, and allegedly took a shot at Cole. On Count Me Out, Kendrick rapped, "Ain't nobody but the mirror looking for the fall off." Fans speculate that the fall off was a reference to Cole's upcoming final project, implying that Kendrick was waiting for Cole to disappear from relevance. Cole fired back on Johnny P's Caddy with Benny the Butcher and delivered one of the boldest claims yet, spitting, "I put your favorite rapper neck in a noose, never letting them loose. Cold world, that heat'll blast through your speaker." And then, on God, the best rapper alive. Headshot, now go and ask the best rappers that died. They'll tell you he never lied. Cole was staking his claim. Not only was he the best alive, but even the greatest dead rappers would vouch for him. Fans immediately speculated that this was a direct shot at Kendrick, since Best Rapper Alive is a title Kendrick has claimed multiple times. Then, just months later, Cole doubled down. On The Secret Recipe with Lil Yachty, he rapped, "People fake progressive and woke. I started saying less. I had to stop it. Peeped how they profit off the racial stress. Some activists got so rich, they probably wish we stayed oppressed. Studio steppers moving extra on songs, faking rep." Here, Cole calls out fake activists, accusing them of using social justice themes for profit, and many fans saw this as another shot at Kendrick. He then refers to studio steppers, which many believe is a nod to Kendrick's album title, Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers. And then the gloves fully came off. Cole released First Person Shooter in October 2023, where he took direct shots at Kendrick. "I'm naming the album The Fall Off. It's pretty ironic cause ain't no fall off from me. Love when they argued the hardest MC. Is it K. Dot, is it Aubrey or me? We the big three like we started the league, but right now I feel like Muhammad Ali. Hate how the game got away from the bars, this stuff like a prison escape. Everybody steppers, well, forget it. Then everybody breakfast and I'm about to clear up my plate." Cole was done with subliminals. He was directly responding to Kendrick's Count Me Out, shutting down any notion of his fall off. He called out Kendrick and Drake by name, claiming that he was the best of the big three, and even referenced steppers again. Fans had long suspected a brewing war between Kendrick and Cole. In October 2023, months before the feud exploded, a Reddit user even broke down all the subliminal shots, stating, "Again, I could be reaching, but whenever a rapper is repeating the same words in songs, it's for a reason. Is this a real thing? Or am I just like you other that has nothing to do better with their time? Who knows? We'll see later on down the line." And they were right. Kendrick had no choice but to respond, which led to the biggest rap diss track since Control. Kendrick finally fired back with Like That, and he did not hold any punches. The track came swinging with direct shots, making it clear that he too was no longer interested in subliminals anymore. Forget sneak dissing. First person shooter, I hope they came with 3 switches. Forget the big 3. It's just big me. What? I'm really like that, and your best work is a light pack. Prince outlived Mike Jack. For all your dogs getting buried, that's a K with all these 9s, he gon' see Pet Cemetery. This was not just a diss. This was a full-scale declaration of war. The line, "Forget the big 3 is just big me," erased any illusion that Kendrick saw Drake, or especially Cole, as equals. He dismissed their legacies outright, calling Cole's best work a light pack, suggesting that it never truly held weight. Fans were shocked, but the response from Cole was even more surprising. For years, Kendrick and Cole had kept their distance. The last time they were even on the same song was 2020's Revenge of the Dreamers 3, where Kendrick had an uncredited feature on Under the Sun. Since then, they had operated in entirely separate lanes, barely acknowledging each other. But in March 2024, as Cole hosted his annual Dreamville Festival, he decided to respond. Like other years, Cole dropped a surprise project ahead of the festival. In 2022, it was D-Day with Dreamville. In 2024, it was a solo tape called Might Delete Later, featuring the track 7-Minute Drill. The song was named after a writing exercise Cole used to sharpen his pen, where he would write verses in just 7 minutes. hits. But 7 Minute Drill wasn't just a lyrical exercise, it was a straight up Kendrick diss. He dropped lines like, he's still doing shows but fell off like The Simpsons. Your first stuff was classic, your last album was tragic. Your second album put people to sleep but they gassed it. Your third album was massive and that was your prime. Cole outright mocked Kendrick's discography, suggesting that Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers was a flop, To Pimp a Butterfly was overhyped, and Damn was his peak. He continued spitting, it's a cold world, keep the heat under your seat. I got a phone call that say that somebody's dissing. You want some attention, it come with extensions. Here, Cole implied that Kendrick was clout chasing, that his shots were less about competition and more about grabbing headlines, a claim Drake had also made a decade earlier after Control. The diss was bold and unexpected, since J. Cole was finally recognizing the disrespect that Kendrick had been sending at him for years at this point. The song immediately became one of J. Cole's highest charting tracks ever, debuting at number 6 on the Billboard Hot 100. But then, something strange happened. At Dreamville Fest, just days after dropping 7 Minute Drill, Cole backed down, and on stage, he told the audience he was removing the song from streaming platforms. He apologized to Kendrick, saying that he regretted the diss and felt bad for going at him. Fans were stunned. Why would Cole take back a response after being publicly disrespected first? As speculation ran wild, a report surfaced from All Hip Hop, revealing that something may have happened behind the scenes. According to sources, Schoolboy Q, one of Kendrick's closest collaborators and fellow 6ix9ine, allegedly had a conversation with J. Cole backstage at Dreamville Fest. The details of the conversation were unclear, but some insiders suggest that Q may have warned Cole about continuing the beef. TDE's punch then added more fuel to the fire with an ominous tweet, seemingly confirming that something deeper was at play. With that, Cole was out of the battle, once again taking his seat below Kendrick Lamar in hip-hop. The public perception of Cole as he bowed out was hysterical, with everyone seemingly clowning him online. However, DJ Academics was probably the loudest critic and went on a rant on a stream throwing shade at Cole for backing down.
How the you apologizing to an who got to jump to get on the monkey bars at the playground? That's true. So true. So true. I rarely say this. I want to interview J. Cole because I think somebody has to hold him accountable for all the pussy moves he's done in hip hop. We love and we respect him as a great talent, but we look at him like the fucking lion in The Wizard of Oz. You don't got a heart. You don't got a heart, my brother. You see, everybody has something about him. You see, when it come to Drake, he the hit maker. Yeah, he's just a hit maker. When Drake stops making hits, it's going to be a problem. He's the hit maker. Kendrick, I mean, he drops an album called Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers. He's a guy who's standing for something. He has a POV. Whether he's saying fuck the big three or he's saying fuck the industry, whether you believe that's how he moves or not, he has this POV that people respect. My problem with Cole is that he's always been stuck in between both. Remember that weak ass song? I think it was on the KOD album. It was like throw money. I can't remember. I'll find the song. J. Cole. And that was him trying to answer to people saying he doesn't know how to make hits. So the point what I'm trying to say, he's literally the middle child, but it's the middle child of two men, Kendrick and Drake. He's literally just, okay, I want to show y'all I can make hits, but I also want to show y'all I stand for something, but neither, it's KOD. What's the name of the song? It's a song about money. ATM, yeah. Just an overt attempt at him trying to do some shit. It was just... We got to have these conversations with Cole. This not the hip-hop I like. Get this J. Cole on out of here, man.
While the beef was primarily a war between Kendrick and Drake, J. Cole's name kept getting dragged into the mix, not as a contender, but as an afterthought. Drake was the first to use Cole as collateral damage, casually dismissing both Kendrick and Cole in push-ups. Then in Family Matters, he took it a step further, painting Cole as someone who was stressed over the beef while he himself remained unbothered. This was the underlying narrative that took shape. While Cole had publicly backed away from the battle, Kendrick and Drake refused to let him off the hook. Instead, they used his withdrawal as proof of their superiority. Basically, Cole's decision to back down was perceived not just as an attempt to keep the peace, but as an admission that he couldn't keep up. And of course, Kendrick ran with this. On Euphoria, Kendrick doubled down, once again making it clear that, in his eyes, there was no big three. Kendrick wasn't just responding to Drake, he was reinforcing the message that he had been sending to Cole for years. There was no friendly rivalry, no mutual admiration. In Kendrick's world, Now,
I'm going to say this, and I'll get the answer later. I'm going to be also very transparent. Certain things I don't ask Drake. Well, it's not that I don't ask him. It's like, yeah, I don't ask him. Those are answers that, and I don't know if he would tell me, because granted, it's legitimate questions, but when those things get answered, it should be on a podcast. For example, like I could ask Drake about anything. You know, like I don't specifically ask, like I don't ask him like, yo, was Kendrick really supposed to be on First Person Shooter? That should be a thing. Like if me and him do an interview, we're going to have to, that's a question for the interview. I don't want to have to come back here where he says nothing and I'm like, hey, by the way, I talked to Drake and Drake told me, yes, he was supposed to be on. No, I want him saying that out of his own mouth, not me. You know what I've never asked him? But I definitely want to. And the reason, and again, I just told you why I don't ask him. I want to say to him or ask him, did you send Cole out there on that dummy mission? Because Cole was trying to repeat a lot of your talking points, except once he got the gut check, he realized he didn't feel the same way as you and he fell back and he left you alone. He left you alone to fight the fight. That's a question I would love for him to answer, but I don't want a DM answer. I don't want a text message answer. I don't want a private answer. I want him to tell the world, what did you think about Cole doing this shit? Hasn't happened yet, but I think it will at some point.
He was the only one that mattered. Then came Not Like Us, the final nail in the coffin. Even in a track aimed squarely at Drake, Kendrick made sure to get one last jab at Cole. Dig Cole foul, I don't know why you still pretending. This was not just disrespect, this was humiliation. Kendrick was not just clowning Cole, he was using him as an example. The underlying message? Cole already knew his place. Why do you think you stand a chance? It was a devastating rhetorical move, and one that simultaneously buried Cole while applying pressure on Drake. Kendrick's treatment of Cole throughout the beef was not just about competition. It was a reflection of how he had viewed him for years. And unlike Kendrick and Drake, Cole is very different. He's always been seen as a down-to-earth person with a minimalist lifestyle. He's been spotted biking through New York City alone and even attempting a pro basketball career, taking a break from rap. These decisions reflect his disinterest in playing the industry game at the same level as his peers. And Kendrick doesn't seem to respect the decision. But Kendrick's dismissal of Cole goes back much further than this battle. From their earliest interactions, like Kendrick trying to take Cole's spot on the 2010 XXL freshman cover, to the way he referenced him in his diss track, to their collab ultimately not coming to fruition due to Kendrick's apparent disinterest, through to Cole teaming up with his arch nemesis in Drake. Kendrick has always seen Cole as a step below him. In the end, Kendrick may see his mission to uplift Compton as more important than any industry relationships. To him, proving himself as the best is not just about competition, it's about...
Yo, brother, whoever this channel is, I rock with you. Thank you for using my clips. It's fine. I love when you guys use any clips of mine. I never get upset, no matter what it is. But let me sum up this 30-minute documentary. Kendrick Lamar from XXL days met J. Cole, a.k.a. J. Fold, and knew he was a bitch and marked him out for 15 years straight. That's all you had to say, my nigga. He met that nigga and marked him out for 15 consecutive years. That's it. He wanted to take his spot on that particular XXL cover. because he ain't respect his ass. J. Cole tried to defend his own honor and got checked by Kendrick, and he apologized for dissing. I've never seen such a bitch nigga move. J. Cole put himself in the cuck chair. I can't listen to him the same. I heard Dreamville Fest happen. I can't even watch it. Let me tell you this. It's not only rapping ability that takes you to the top. It's you being that nigga. That's why hip hop is so special. It's not just about your songs. You got to be that guy. Notoriously, they say in hip hop, you want to be the guy that women want to fuck and men want to be like. Oh, that's the guy. J. Cole is permanently, he's a nigga who you be like, yeah, he knows how to put words together, but we'll never talk about him anywhere else. That's reality. This documentary being titled Why Kendrick Never Respected Him, I agree. I think Kendrick didn't respect J. Cole because he doesn't look at J. Cole as a alpha. I think Kendrick is fueled by Napoleon syndrome. I think he also looked at Drake to say, nigga, I think I could rap better than you. I'll fuck you up. But at least Drake had some fight in him. J. Cole, not at all. Not at all.
Drake is no stranger to rap feuds, with infamous clashes against Common, Meek.
You said why Pharrell never respected Drake? Who the fuck give a fuck about what Pharrell respects? And respectfully, too, because I met Pharrell. What the hell? Okay. All right. Can't believe I watched a documentary about J. Cole. Yo, here's the reality of it. No matter what I say about Kendrick, I respect the fact that Kendrick look at these niggas like they're bitches. I like that. That's the one. Let me tell you this. Kendrick, to me, is as close as we got to Kobe. Drake is LeBron in every type of way. Oh, let's be friends. Yo, let's link up. Me and Pluto. Me and nah. By the way, that's great. Because a lot of people say, we have LeBron, who's either the best or maybe the second best. One thing with Kendrick, he's like Kobe, man. Put it like this. And this is my opinion, so I'm not speaking for him. And I could be totally wrong. When he dropped Control, when he see Meek Mill rap back, he probably listened and said, this loud mushmouth nigga who's rapping like he's in the passenger seat ordering at the drive-thru of Sonics or Checkers, I'm good. One thing I do like about Kendrick, he never respected none of these guys. I don't think he respects Drake. I think he went around Drake and said, man, this is a light-skinned bitch-ass nigga. Now, granted, that's hate, though, because Drake has helped you. But I do respect the hip-hop element where he's like, I don't respect none of y'all niggas. So if you ask me, I don't think Kendrick respects Drake. This is pre-battle. I don't think he respects, who else? He respects Drake pre-battle, and he definitely don't respect who else? Not me. Yeah, no, J. Cole. What the fuck?
Meek Mill shots, direct disses, and moments. This video's.
Whose channel is this? Okay, not bad.
can't stand listening to from London rap. Pop, chop, did it pop, pop, pop. When it come, and it cop, when it cop, cop. And it go, did it throw, and it pop, and it did it pop. That sounds ridiculous. There's nothing macho to me about, listen here, bloke. About give me more money. Oh, that boy blow side.
Oh, yeah, plain. Anyway. J. Cole will be written out of rap history eventually. You know who J. Cole is? I'm going to tell you who J. Cole is. And I hate to say this because it's going to hurt my heart. It's going to hurt my heart to say this. Yo, J. Cole is Tracy McGrady, man. That's it. Never won nothing, never did nothing, but we thought you had all the talent to do whatever you want and to be the best. But somehow you weren't the best. And eventually we're going to get a new J. Cole who's actually about that shit, and that person's going to get the success. Just like how we got a new McGrady, and they got the success. You know who the new McGrady was? KD. Now, granted, KD still ain't, you know, I mean, he won a couple things, but with Steph or whatever, who cares? The whole point is this. I literally do not believe that what Cole got going on is anything that will be rememberable beyond this era. Kendrick is going to be remembered. It's like Biggie and Pac. Matter of fact, you know what? I'm not giving him Tracy McGrady. I like Tracy too much. Nah. I got another comparison for J. Cole. J. Cole, you know who you are? You're Clyde Drexler. Let me tell you what they said about Clyde Drexler during his era. They said Clyde Drexler would have been Michael Jordan if we didn't have Michael Jordan. Think about it. Clyde Drexler would have been Michael Jordan if we didn't have Michael Jordan. Now let's think about it. When it comes to people like J. Cole would have been Kendrick, or he would have played the Kendrick role, like this antagonist that represents the real blah, 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 against, like, say, the people who were these fluff mainstream songs if we didn't have Kendrick. So all he's known is the guy who could have been that person, but he wasn't. And that's really what it is. So, you know what? I'm not comparing him to Tracy McGrady. I'm going to compare him to Clyde Drexler. That's it. That's it. All right, people. Yo, chat. I know I just looked at the time. We did about 3 hours and 20 minutes or so on all platforms. We're close to 4 on Rumble, but most of that was the intro. I'm going to get off of here now. I'm counting this as day 5, which means I have to stream today and hopefully like around, what day is today? Oh, around like 3 or 4. Hopefully I could get on and give you guys a stream, all right? Okay. Chat, thank you guys. Sorry for the late, stream today, and we will be back with a fresh slate of topics and also more entertainment as we get into the work week. I know you guys have stayed up to either watch me or you're in Europe or some shit like that. Please, if you can, just pop on the stream later today, and you will see me then, which will officially be day 6. Trust, okay? Chat, love you guys. Thank you guys. Appreciate all the donations. Hopefully I read it. And see you guys later.